Looks like we got a new friend!
Oh, hi everyone, and welcome to this week, the finale of the jury.
Oh.
The finale. Here we are.
Like, this.
I'm so hyped for this, I've forgotten all of the usual things that I say, but I think I'll be okay. Social links, we have those. Go and check out our Discord, our Twitter, and our YouTube. I've got a feeling if you're here with us in the finale, you might already know about these. But, you know, check them out anyway. We have a Patreon. We have a new article up just a few days ago by Derek. We've got another article due in a few days by Rene. Those are both free. There's also exclusive content over there. It's one of the best ways to support us. The percentage of the money that we get from that is significant. So thank you. Also, we have merchandise. I believe with code ROBOT25, you can get 25% off of stuff today. I'm not sure whether that's an all apparel one. I just saw the code earlier. So check that out. Also, we have sponsors in Bird and the Storm Publishing. We also have a sponsor in Magehand Press, both of whom have been supporting us for the whole of this season. We are also sponsored by Erisavad from erisavad.com. Check it out in the things. Where it's a thing. It's a panel.
I have a thing from her, but I don't have it right next to me. She makes amazing little dice bags and accessories. And they are amazing, and they're perfect if you're going to a con and you just want to take like one set with you.
Like the keyring bags. Oh, they're perfect.
Yes.
I really want one.
And also, for those of you who tuned in to the charity stream this weekend for our friends who are being made homeless, we not only did we beat the goal, we made £1,100. We made £100 more than the goal. They got their house. Everything's been signed, and because of all of the work we did, they were able to get the keys. Like they're able to get the keys next weekend. They could pay all the deposit. They could pay all the fees. We did a thing, you guys, and it was great. So thank you. Also, every 10 retweets we get a Wild Magic Surge. Check out the tweet there. Go and retweet. Let all your friends know where you are and what you're watching. With that, let's go round. Charlie.
Well, I think actually we should come to me last today, because since this is our finale and the last time that we will get to introduce these characters, I think I would like to give each of my players a chance to talk a little bit about the journey they've been on over the last 14-ish weeks. And why don't we start with the lovely Anna?
Oh, God. Okay. Talk about my journey as a character. Okay, that's cool. So I started this character, and she was kind of struggling with herself, struggling with some of the things going on in her life, hoping to be a bit more successful. That's why she joined this jury. That's why she did this whole thing, is she wanted to make something of herself and prove herself to the men in her life that she could be successful without their help. So she started out with this kind of tenacity, but with this also inner insecurity that kind of came into play a little bit, especially once she was given this scarf. It was a blindfold, but then it became a scarf, and that kind of swayed the way that she saw the world, and I think it kind of made her grow. It made her stronger. The cabin, we didn't plan on that being this huge journey, but it kind of just became one. I'm pretty sure we went there just to look around. Oh, I saw a figure in the window, and then it ended up being this huge I don't know if that was like, I would say that's the climax of our story. But that made her grow as a person, a little bit more confident in herself, even though now where we are in the story, she is kind of freaked out because things are starting to, I wouldn't say crumble, but she did just kill a guy and ran away. So I guess we're going to see how much she has grown to, as to how she can handle this situation and handle what's about to happen, because she doesn't know. But I'm proud of her.
Let's move to our other lovely leading lady, and let's move to Lucia and Alice.
Hello. First of all, I'm going to excuse my voice today. Not been very well, but I cannot miss this. I have loved this so much. I started off playing Lucia Miller, who is now Lucia Moretti, for reverting back to her mother's name. I think she started this off as just trying to run a cafe. She didn't have any ambition to take over anything or anything like that. She literally just wanted to get on, have her own business, and get the jury over and done with, basically. She didn't want to be on the jury. And this has developed to her father breaking out of jail, her brothers effectively betraying her. Everyone who she thought was on her side is now against her, or blaming is basically now blaming her for trying to take over the mob. And I think she's now at the stage where she's had enough. She still doesn't want the mob. She doesn't want anything like that. She's just like, well, if I want to have a normal life, I'm gonna have to get rid of these people. And in particular, her father. And I think she's on that tipping point where she's on the edge. As long as the others come out okay, and hopefully she does, she'll be fine with it. But she's fully going into this with, if I die, I die. But oh my god, am I taking them the rest of my family with me? Kind of thing, because they're a bunch of assholes, basically. They're dangerous people. Her father in particular is not a nice person. And if she can take him out, I think she'll be happy. But yeah, this has been long coming, and I'm so excited to play this.
With that, why don't we sidestep across to one of our leading gentlemen, the wonderful Travis, and his character, Eddie.
You know, this started out as a guy with a shady past and no nose trying to get out of jury duty. And he almost pulled it off. And what it's turned into is that this guy's whole past has been turned over like dirt with a shovel, and he's reconnected with somebody, Helena, who's, you know, a really important part of his past and a really important part of his pain and his journey. And this has been a really fun way to explore somebody who really his self-loathing has gone so wildly out of control, only to get sort of bottled back up in the last show or so, as he's made up his mind what his part in all of this is. And, you know, he's tried to find the villain other than himself so desperately, and I think he's finally found it, or he thinks he's finally found it. And I think the real thing that I've been thinking about for the last week or two is, how much will he put these people who are important to him in danger in the name of trying to find something to wipe out, to free their minds, and to end this pain. And I think that somewhere he knows that what they're up against is too strong, and I think he stopped caring about it, and now it's time to fight. And I feel like that's where that's really the broad strokes of this guy's journey, and it's a pleasure.
So on the subject of fighting, metamorphosis and ongoing struggles with identity. Bert, played by a lovely other leading man, Scrap.
Well, what a ride it's been. Bert began this campaign as a simple, essentially a misogynist who believed that he was the main character in a story where he was a weak character. With a drinking problem, family problems, living in general problems, but thinking that everything was okay because he was bringing in a salary. He was in a pretty bad place, but thought he was in a good place. And throughout this season, he died, which is pretty life-changing. But also he's come around to realize that actually the people around him, specifically Lucia and Helena, who Eddie has been instrumental in also showing Bert the error of his ways, are not only strong people, but also people that is worth surrounding yourself with. And he spent the whole season trying to figure out what the hell's happened to his daughter, and now he's sort of half pinning his hopes on maybe Helena, who they've got history with, to be able to do things that he can't, because maybe it's a last save too late sort of thing. Yeah, he's been through some wild things, setting fires to things, and yeah, the rat men, the tentacles.
The tentacles. Oh.
Yeah, it's been yeah.
On that note, would you like to take us into our intro and the journey through the streets of privacy to our final destination this season?
Okay, we're all ready. See you soon.
Bang! The door of the library swings open with such great gusto and force, it forces everyone's heads in who are currently within the building to snap to see who has come in. In the doorway, a tall young woman, dressed impeccably, carrying what looks like a scattering of papers that she's quickly swept up into her arms. Helena, you've made it into the library. You don't seem to be pursued at the moment, but you don't know if you are about to be caught.
Okay, so I have all these blueprints and papers that I was able to get before leaving. The dead man on the floor. Is Eddie here yet?
Looking around, you can see the stacks where you normally are, and you know that the table that he sits at is actually out of sight from this front door. Eddie is very purposeful when he chooses where to sit for his research. So as you head down that way, I imagine, you will find him ensconced, surrounded by papers, books, and a box on the table.
So
Eddie.
Oh, okay.
No, go ahead.
I just wanted to walk up to him, clearly a little bit shaken, so I don't have much to say, but I wanted to just walk up behind him, next to him, so he sees me, and just set down the blueprints and sit in a chair and just not say a word.
You're muted, Travis.
Said you're just in time. Over here learning ancient Egyptian. What are you doing?
I just killed a man.
Are you speaking figuratively? Because I would understand that. No?
No.
Oh. Well. That's so, well, you're serious? That actually happened?
Yes, I went to get the documents and blueprints for the courthouse. Everything was fine. I had to convince him to let me see things, and I tried to get him to let me take a few after he caught me trying to steal them. And he's dead. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't even do anything.
He just died?
He's on the floor dead, and I ran.
Did you came into contact with him? You touched him?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's a problem that we're going to address here in just a second. What have you got? What were you able to get out of the Hall of Records?
I got a couple blueprints. I wasn't able to get all, but I got the important ones. I didn't get just everything, every floor we didn't need, but I've got the lower levels. I've got some details on the building and details on the architects and what was kind of going on around that time. Things I think that you would understand more.
Okay. Well, we're going to have to go through those. I mean, I don't feel like sitting here with a body at the Hall of Records, but I will say that we've got to go through those really carefully because I'm looking for a way in and out of that place that doesn't draw too much attention. I think I've got a way to get, keys, and I've got a couple of ideas for how to get access to the courthouse so that we can move in and out in relative security and safety, but we got to go through all of that. So just so that you know, in 1922, I quit the OTO, right? This is the Thelemic, essentially cult that Crowley started in Paris. I didn't tell you about it because I thought it was weird even while I was doing it. It's not that I didn't think it was any of your business. It was a really complex part of my life, but I'm telling you about it now because there are elements of it that I think are exploitive, creepy madness, and there's elements of it that I can't explain and that I do feel might be an effective tool in this situation. Crowley sent me something in the mail. I missed it during our blackout, but it was in all my stuff. Showed up at the docks. I was supposed to go pick it up. I apparently did it while we were asleep or daydreaming or whatever the fuck we were doing. So it was in the basement. I opened up. It's scales, like Lady Justice scales, like the scales of justice. They're gold. And I have them wrapped in a newspaper, and I kind of produce them and put them on the table and unwrap them. Like, you got ancient Egyptian script written under the curve of this one right here. This is why I came here, because I'm trying to figure out the timing of this is too weird. If this is something I can take in there with me, because I don't have a wand. I don't have a lot of the tools that I would have otherwise had if I was practicing. But I'm going to go in there with some chalk and some candles and a compass, and I'm going to attempt to get this thing's attention. And I'm either going to kill it, or it's going to kill me, or we're going to blow the whole place sky high, period. And so that's the moment I'm in right now, is I need to decipher what's written on the inside of this thing and see if it's anything effective that we can use when we get in there.
Okay, I'm coming with you.
Well, I suggest we check out this book on ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics and we get the hell out of here.
Yes, I would say so. I don't want to trail leading back to me. I don't know what to do about that. I can't even think about it right now. So, yeah.
And we're going out the back because everybody saw you come through the front door of this place.
Yes.
All right. Well, I say we gather all this and beat a hasty exit out the back of this library and back to Miller's.
All right.
Okay, you gather up your books, your papers, your box with the scales in, and you make your way towards the back of the library. The rear exit isn't particularly hidden, but you do notice that there is a lock on it. And this presents a problem, and as you consider this problem, you must too consider that Anna, you get 2 wild magic surges for Helena, and you get 1 wild magic surge, Travis, for Eddie. I can't talk today, I'm so nervous. I'm so scared about what's going to happen.
What's the number?
614.
Oh, God. So, yeah, we have to actually do that.
Yeah.
Means I have to get into roll 20, which would probably be helpful since I'm
Thank
playing
you
this game.
very much to Paladin Hulk and Arcanist81. Between the two of you, we have hit our stream goal. I've chucked up a little stretch stream goal, but thank you guys. Thank you so much.
Ooh.
And I have also rolled the wild magic surge from your retweets, and it will come into play later. I promise.
What's the number one more time?
614.
I got 480 and 411.
412.
Wow, you two really are on the same page.
Yes.
So I look at the lock and look at Helena and I go, grab the lock.
All right. Do you want me to use my
Anything
lock picking?
I mean, I mean to just touch it.
Oh, so in case my murder magic will. Okay, I touch it. I touch the lock.
All right. As you touch the rock, do you have any intention in your head?
I want to get the lock open and get out.
Okay. At first, all you feel in your hand is the cold, and there's a weird clamminess to this lock. There's a lot of condensation on the inside of this door, and it's kind of bled onto this metal. And it just feels like a lock. And nothing seems to happen. But you've made things happen recently, and that is a thought that is in your head. It is you have the power to make things happen.
Okay, so I'm gonna grab the lock and just like try and pull it off.
Okay, make me a willpower check. That is power. P-O-W at the top.
Extreme success. I will take that.
Okay, make me a sanity roll, please.
Oh, okay. And I failed that.
You failed that. So, you focus with your mind and channel strength down into your arms, down into your fingers, and you pull. And you use just the tips of your index fingers. That's where all your strength concentrates. And out of the tips of your fingers, small tentacles burst, like semen out of a flower, and they rise and they form and they curl up around the metal. And you pull, and the lock comes apart into parts. But the tentacles, they go back into you, and you watch as they crawl up your hands and into your arms and through your veins and into your bones. Although you cannot see your bones, you can distinctly feel this wiggling deeper below your skin. And you lose, let's see.
That's some good imagery, Charlie. I feel it.
Good. I'm glad. You lose 6 points of sanity.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
I rolled the max on the dice. And Eddie, you bear witness to Helena take this lock in her hand and for a long moment just stare at it, and then suddenly clink as the parts disconnect and the door is open for you.
And I think that in that moment, rather than thinking that's something great or something cool or something exciting, I think he absolutely finds that terrifying.
And Anna, with a loss of 6 sanity, you gain a temporary insanity. And this temporary insanity is that you believe you are controlled by these tentacles in your body, that you are but a marionette to whatever dark force now you are playing host to.
Do I accept it, or do I like just know that it's happening?
It is up to you. That is your insanity. Your insanity
Okay.
is disbelief. It is up to you how you believe Helena deals with this belief. Sorry, what was your question, Travis?
I didn't. Other than the fact that he finds that terrifying,
All right.
that she just did that.
Speaking of terrifying, could you please re-roll your wild magic surge?
Oh, sure. 614. And I think he feels like he wants to. Oh my gosh, really? One's good, right? That's a good thing.
No, one is not a good thing.
Assuming one means I get a bouquet of fresh flowers and a 6-hour nap.
You're muted.
I'm muted?
Nice scrap.
You know what that one is, right, Charlie? Do I even need to send that one to you?
I'd like you to send me the wording so I can just check the wording.
I mean, it's like the original TSR document.
I find $100 in the street. That's what happened.
Okay, that's fine. That is the wild magic surge that we will be going with. So, you press out through the door. Now that the door is open.
Yeah, I flip around with my back, push the door open with my back, guide Helena out, look down the street, and we are going to, without drawing too much attention to ourselves, move with some haste towards Miller's.
Okay.
Not being too conspicuous about it.
Alright, so make me some stealth rolls. Because the library actually backs out onto quite a busy street. You need to go down a slight small alley, but then there's the side street, which is adjacent to the street which Miller's is on.
Okay. So, my stealth sucks. Are they showing up?
Did you seriously just roll a wild magic surge 1 and then immediately follow it by fumbling?
100.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is bad, folks. The dice are mad at me today.
And Anna, would you
Not
like to
good.
roll as well for Helena? In fact, you know what? I believe you have a nat 1 somewhere floating over your face. We're going to use one of those and say that Helena also fumbles. As you are sneaking around trying to get onto the busy thoroughfare, Helena, you trip over nothing, headfirst into a large garbage can, which makes that booming sound like thunder, and you spread trash all across the street. Eddie, as you try and dodge the sloosh of molding God knows what, you kind of make a little leap, and you skid in what you hope is maybe potato, something of that nature, browning potato. And you burst out onto the street, you cross the sidewalk, and you end up in the middle of the road just as oncoming traffic is approaching. There is nothing subtle about your journey to Miller's.
For the record, my stealth is 40.
Make a dodge attempt as this car is careening towards you, and then a luck roll.
Man. Mm-mm. That's not for me, is it? Are you waiting for me?
Yes, that's you.
Oh God.
Car is
What am I-
careening towards you, and you really don't want it to hit you, because that would really hurt.
Oh no. So what do you want me to roll? Because you cut out.
You need to make a dodge and a stealth. Not
Oh.
stealth, a luck. A dodge and a luck, please.
Am I still in a
Alright.
trash can?
All right. Hold on.
You are not in the trash can, but you are stood the other side of the trash can. You are free to move if you'd like to move.
I would like to run and try and grab his arm and pull him out of the road.
Okay.
I might get hit, but
Make.
That's a dodge that I failed.
Okay, you failed the dodge. Alright, Helena, you
Yeah.
also make a dodge and make it a disadvantage. Can you take one of those off of her plate, please, Scrap?
My luck is.
I have a lot of these disadvantages and that ones to get rid of today.
Oh Lord have mercy.
oh, I failed too.
Failed too. But that's a successful luck roll from Eddie. So this is
Okay.
what happens. Eddie, you try and dodge out the way, but the car is moving too fast and you don't move that quick. Helena, you run out into the road and you grab onto his arm, but your eyes lock with the driver. And there is an explosion within the car, or an implosion within the car, as the guy's head just drops in and viscera spurts out, covering the windscreen. The car is not stopping. But Eddie, in the last second, as the driver loses control of his vehicle, loses control of his life, you see a window and you drag Helena full bodily with you with that hard luck success. And you are both out of the way of this vehicle as it careens into a building. Luckily, it catches the corner and not the front window as it collides with a bookshop.
Oh,
Yeah.
did I just kill another guy?
Okay, we need to get
Just
moving.
killed another guy. I need you to make a sanity check.
We're walking. We're walking. We're walking.
Are we? Are we even here?
We're trying. We're trying to.
Success.
Extreme success. So you will take just 1 point of sanity loss, but this does reaffirm that belief that your control over what you can do is very limited. This is the second person you've killed today by just looking at them.
Oh, I want that power in real life. Just kidding.
Yeah. All right. Okay. So we get ourselves for just a second. I turn and face Helena, and I look you in the eye and go, "It's not you. Remember, it's not you.
It's the tentacles in my body.
It's a foreign object. Something is inside you that is not Helena. We are walking this direction." And I take your hand.
Eddie, your mind is full of the image of brains and skull and face just smeared across the windscreen. And I need you to make a sanity roll as well.
Okay.
As you march Helena quickly away from the scene of this bizarre and strange accident,
Oh, come
which
on.
you undoubtedly caused,
Yeah.
and you lose 2 points of sanity.
Okay. That's 41 for me, Charlie.
Okay. Mahaha, eat their sanity.
I'm almost a half. 2 away from being half sanity.
Worry when you hit a quarter. That's when things get real dicey.
Okay. So half is okay.
I take Helena's hand and pull her across the street and in the direction we are headed.
Don't look at me though.
Okay. I'm looking straight ahead, but
I
you're
will not make
coming
eye
with-
contact with anyone.
Okay, and you dodge across the street, and you decide to take another back alley. Clearly, the main thoroughfare is not the place you want to be right now, and you manage to weave your way through the buildings. You know this town relatively well, so it's not too difficult for you, and you find your way to the Millers. Lucia, what is going on in the Millers at the moment?
I think Lucia is literally just gearing up, getting ready, and she's doing it openly sat at one of the tables having a coffee at the same time. Probably not really worrying if Bert sees it.
Was it, weren't we taking customers last episode?
I think
We
she
were, like,
kicked
serving
them
up-
out.
Okay.
She's probably kicked them out at this point. She's not going to do it in front of the customers.
Sorry to disappoint everyone. I'm just be looking at all these weapons that...
This will
Yeah,
be
she's
after
laying them out on
the-
the table, and if there's dynamite, Eddie asked for, she started laying it all out very strategically on this table.
This will be after the breakfast rush, before the lunch rush. So it's nice and quiet in here, and anyone who was dawdling, you could easily have kicked out.
Say, Lucia, do you think you've got enough guns there?
And she's sort of looking over them, and she's like, "Why do you want one?"
Well, I just had this little pea shooter. And he pulls out his pathetic little, like,
She looks at it, and then just picks up a standard, revolver. Is like, "You better take this as well."
oh, it's, quite heavy.
Really?
He just puts it in his holster. Quietly, ashamedly.
And she sort of looks at him as she's like counting everything. And she's like, right, we need to wait till the others get back, and then I think it's all going to happen pretty quickly. Are you okay?
Yeah, just fine. Worried for my daughter more than anything. Say, can I take some of them bullets too?
Yes, help yourself.
I just fill a pocket.
Yeah.
So we're
It's like she's sipping coffee at the same time.
So we're doing this, huh? We're gonna go and fight the things.
Yes. Are you nervous?
No. Not for me.
You can't be nervous.
No, I saw things when I was in
Dead.
the other place. Yeah. Men with rats' heads, tentacles that could restrain you like ropes. I'm not sure if we'll come out of this okay, but I just hope my little girl's okay.
And Lucia sort of raises an eyebrow at that, and she'll really hesitantly reach out, but you know that really awkward pat on the shoulder you give someone when you don't know what to do? She's like, I'm sure she's fine. There's some weird stuff happening, and if I'm right, if we kill this thing or whatever it is, maybe everything will go back to normal.
Well, listen, between you and me, something I never like to talk about, but hell, if there's ever a time, it's now.
Yes.
My little girl and Helena, they used to be a thing. You know, like a thing.
I could see that. And that bothered you?
No, well, yeah, it bothered the hell out of me, but that's not the point right now. The point right now is if I tried looking for Helena, not for Helena, I tried looking for Victoria, I couldn't find anything. I think if we need to protect anyone, try and get anyone out of this alive so that my little girl gets attention, I think it should be, let's focus on Helena. If it comes to a choice, I mean.
It's not going to come to a choice. It's just not.
Alright, but if it does come down to it, you know how I'll choose.
Why did you have a problem with it? Out of interest.
It just sounds damn stupid now. I could say it was unholy, non-ethical, non-biological, any number of things, but
Okay. You know what we're about to do today, right?
that's why I say it sounds silly.
Okay.
As if anything about this whole experience has been biblical.
Is your daughter strong? I don't mean physically, I mean mentally or in any way. Was she a strong character? It sounds like it, as she told you to. I won't use that language in here in case a customer comes in, but she told you to go.
I don't know what to tell you, Lucia. I don't know. I haven't seen her for years.
This is not meant in a derogatory term to you. I think you are a good man. But are you scared of powerful women? Are you scared of women who have their own personality and their own mind? Is that what it is? Don't get me wrong.
No, I don't think that is what it is. If I'm gonna be downright honest with you, when it comes to trying to defend my position, I just can't. So I can only put it down to a fear of the unknown, change.
Like
And I
what's
sound
happened?
downright stupid saying it. And if you
The
don't
diff-
mind, I'd like to move on if that's okay.
No, not yet. The difference is that you said you're stupid. You acknowledge that you are wrong and you try and change it. Now, for God's sake, pick up some of these knives, pick up some of these guns, get rid of that water pistol type thing you've got in up your sleeve. And we go and get rid of this thing, and then we go find your daughter. How about that?
Alright. Yeah, that sounds pretty good. Look, you can keep your knives. I wouldn't know how to use one if you told me which end of it was pointy. I'll try and take another... Hell, you mind if I take a sawn off?
Of course you can. Not that one, no, that one's mine. Like, she sort of points over to the one at the far edge.
And he's just gonna take the sawn off, and he's just gonna like tuck it into his belt. Like, how in the hell do you?
Well, you're going to blow your foot off like that if you put it in like that. And she sort of tries to, like, she sort of takes it off him. And just like, she said, just hold it. Don't try and make it,
Oh hell, I'll just hold the damn thing.
okay. And then she holds out a hand, like probably how most men would shake hands. She holds it out as, why don't you shake my hand before we go into this? Properly.
And almost like foreignly, he's stopping himself from taking your fingers as a, you know, he puts his hand into yours.
Yeah. And she'll grip it tightly and just go, and shake it. Not that difficult, is it? Now, why don't you, when we go into this, stand by my side and not in front of me?
Alright, deal. I'll watch your back, you watch mine. But we both watch Helena's back. And Eddie's okay too.
I have his back, don't worry.
Yeah, so I'll be watching everyone's back. Just don't blow your leg off with that sawn off.
Hell, I know how to use a firearm.
Okay. And she starts like putting these things, like she's put a long coat on one of her brother's coats, and she's just putting stuff into it, and knives in her boots and stuff like that.
Helena and Eddie, as you approach the cafe, you see that the sign has been flipped to close, but there is the movement of two familiar figures inside. Peering a little closer, you will see Lucia is armed to the teeth and preparing for battle.
Yeah,
That
right.
is that too.
Awkwardly, like,
Holding a sawn off.
Holding a sawn off like a farmer in a story on his deck.
stop swinging it around. Like, it's...
I'm just finding a comfortable position.
Where are we going with all of these weapons?
I do the shave and a haircut on the door.
And like this is a window door.
We can see them.
Yeah, so like she goes and opens it, it's like, come on then.
Very nice. Okay, we're coming in. We're
There
shutting
is a
the door.
smell of trash. It's sweet, it's rotting, it's filthy, and Lucia, if you look at their feet, you will see it's just their shoes are just splattered with this
She's-
unknown sludge.
She's looking down like, please don't go in my kitchen.
Well, very glad to see we've got the guns out.
I got
So-
the dynamite you wanted.
Excellent.
There's not lots of it, but there's some of it.
How much fuse are we looking at?
And she just gestures to the table. Charlie, how much am I allowed?
How much? What? Sorry.
I'd like to think we've got that big old spool of fuse, like in a
That's
Wile E.
what-
Coyote cartoon. You got
Yeah.
that big.
I'm
Yeah.
thinking, Ackman is what I'm thinking of.
Lucia, make me a luck roll, and you may not use a nat 20 on it.
Okay. Oh no. This is gonna be bad. I fail.
Fail. All right, you working on your own. You could get together guns. You could get together knives. You had those hidden. You know where your brothers had those hidden. The explosives were more difficult. You knew that the dairy had an explosion, so you went down there, and you found some leftovers, some offcuts, but there is not a lot here. There's probably enough fuse for one charge, and it would have to be lit by a man who could run very fast.
I made the best of what I could find.
Oh, this is good. This is good. I think we have everything we need here. I need a minute to go through this book and do a quick translation. So we all need to hold tight. Important safety tip, however, before I sit down. It is important that no one come into physical contact with Helena Hawthorne at this time.
Don't look me in the eyes. I'm just like
She's
looking
like-
down.
Bert straight away looks at Helena.
He's like,
No!
is it the smell? Because I think you're both walking in it.
Lucia, I've killed 2 people today. And I don't know how.
She's
I
already.
just look at them.
I want to say I'm proud, but who was it?
I don't know who the guy in the car was. Some man in a car that was driving, and I looked in his face and his head imploded. And there was another guy, and he was in the Hall of Records, and I tried to steal some records, and he wouldn't let me. So I looked at him, and then he died. And then I ran away, and I went to the library.
And she sort of like does a step like a damn, sort of like. Okay, you may have to teach me how to do that sometime.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
okay? Do you want to sit down?
I'm gonna go curl up in a ball, like in a corner somewhere.
Helena, it's at this moment that you remember the surgery you performed on Lucia. And you remember that the tentacles were in her too.
Lucia, the tentacles, they're in you. They're in you. They're in me. They're all over me. They're all inside of me. They're in my bones. They're controlling me like a puppet. And I think that they're inside of you too.
Did I know this? Did I? Because I felt something, didn't I? Can't
I think you've been aware of like a crawling
Yeah.
sensation. Everyone here has been aware of tentacles and crawling and has seen either black ooze come from them or seen tentacles either
I've seen
on.
tentacles in my side, I think.
Yeah, so you've all kind of been aware of this at some point in the last day or so.
And I feared the case. I thought I saw something, and then I thought I was crazy. I mean, I could be crazy, but if you're seeing it too, either we're both crazy, or there is something happening.
You're not crazy. It's manifest. It's in there. It snuck in through the back door. The courthouse is the door. Today we kill it. The only way to set the 2 of you free from what's hiding inside you and what's hiding in all 4 of us is to go in there and kill it. We call it out. We reveal it. We attempt to kill it. And if it doesn't work, we blow it up. Blueprints.
Bullets work. When I was in that basement and the rat man was attacking me, well, hell, one of them got shot, ended up landing on top of me, but the shooting killed it. Bullets work.
Well, I'm very glad to hear that. Because other than foul language, we don't have too much else to offer other than 10 or 12 sticks of dynamite. Our intrepid detective, Helena, has fleeced the Hall of Records for the blueprints to the building. I need Bert and Lucia to look at this very carefully in this moment while I translate some ancient Egyptian. What we're looking for is a way to get into and out of that building, preferably into the basement, somewhere other than the front freaking door.
Well, hell, why don't we take the sewers? I mean, it'll smell, it'd be awful, but it should run right under there, right?
2 of us already smell.
I'm pretty sure that the sewage, did we decide if it led in there and there was an access, or if it was just kind of there?
I think it was just
Kind of more like plumbing, though the sewers weren't really a good access point you discovered, but there are the basement holding cells. And if you can find a way down to them, then that would be a point of entry. But you didn't have time, I believe, in your study of it to find a way to those externally, but they are there as a subterranean level.
What time of day is it right now?
Between
Right
breakfast
now?
and lunch, right?
Yeah, it's between breakfast and lunch. It's brunch time.
Okay.
Can we have
So
brunch first?
What do you want?
A mimosa? Do you have that?
Why not? I should just go down, reach down like behind the bar and
Champagne and
start
orange juice.
making these mimosas. And this is like a really expensive one that she's had ordered in from Italy. It was probably from her parents' wedding that she's just managed to keep hold of, and she just like pops it.
I think you just invented mimosas.
Yeah, I think we did.
In fact, champagne, Lucia, isn't for your parents' wedding because you already drank what was left of the.
Oh yeah, I did.
during your surgery. This is actually from your 16th birthday party, and your brothers bought you this
Yeah.
as a gift, and you never drank it.
And she sort of looks it up and down. She's like, well, should probably drink it before we die.
All of it.
All of it. And
It's
like
really-
she'll pop like the cork and it will probably erupt a little bit, and then she'll get out some peaches that are quite rare, but she had like, I know they were canned at the time, and it's almost like a puree type thing, and she's putting it in each glass and topping it up. It's all I got, but it's good. So it's
That's
just
the
like,
official recipe of the Moretti mimosa. It's peach puree and champagne,
yeah, so like,
preferably vintage
an Italian.
and Italian.
I love the visual of all four of us sharing a quick toast.
Yeah, she'll hold it up and just
Ding.
as a toast, like a clink.
Okay, going around the group, what toast do you make? I believe you should all make one, whether it is out loud or within yourself, and I would like to hear what those are. Lucia,
I can start.
okay, Helena.
Since I made all of us stop and do this. Since I want to say something sentimental, but I'm not really in the right headspace, so I'm gonna say, to the tentacles in my body, I hope to get you out. To the courthouse, I hope to burn you to the ground.
Victoria.
Victoria.
I nod at Helena, making eye contact again.
She's like, why not, Victoria? And then just sort of cheers, and then and maybe we will enjoy another one of these when we come out, whether it's on this side or the other.
I make eye contact with Lucia and say, Centan.
And she just sort of smiles at you and effectively downs it, and is then like, oh, I have not drank that in a while, and like it was a bit too. She's been drinking coffee for so long.
It's very sweet and sickly, and then you have the strange fizz of the bubbles from the wine that cut through it. And you all finish your toast and drain your glasses. There is enough for another round. It was a whole bottle of champagne after all.
We are not here to get shitty, people. The mission is in front of us. That was lovely. I sort of give everyone a very steely look.
I think
I'll pass anyway.
Lucia will put a cork in the bottle, but then put it in her coat pocket.
One of the many pockets.
And she's just like, for afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. For all four of us, we'll finish that off when we get back here.
Helena, please make a willpower check with disadvantage. Please, Scrap.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay. Was that just a straight success?
Yeah, with the disadvantage.
Am I remembering that Miller's is not far from the courthouse? I don't mean to interrupt.
It's not far. It's it's a street off of the square on which the courthouse sits.
All right. I walk to the window and look at the courthouse out the window. Go ahead.
Okay. Helena, you do actually meet Bert's eye as you share this toast, despite your best efforts to avoid it. However, you don't feel any power behind your gaze. You're just looking at a man that you've known for a very long time.
Okay, good.
And
Oh,
for
I
the
wanted
brief moments, you feel total control over your body again. But then the cloying of the tentacles kicks back in.
I wanted to run upstairs and find that scarf again before we go. So just quickly.
Eddie, as you crane your neck, it's really hard to see the courthouse from this angle, but you can just see one of the gargoyles that sits above the cloister of a saint below a tower. Such is the architecture of this building. And the gargoyle seems to be staring straight back at you.
Look right back at it. All right, Bert, I need another brain here.
All right.
Gotta look at the blueprints and decide whether or not we need the keys. Can this be done without the keys to the building? Because if we need the keys, I have an idea. I'm tired of locked doors.
I've encountered a lot of locked doors. I mean, when I found that there was a lot of locked doors, you know what I did? I just broke a window. That worked.
Here's your lesson.
Too much to do and not enough time to do it. I feel like if everybody's at lunch at the courthouse right now, we've got a few minutes. I think I need to translate what's written on this piece. And I take the newspaper out of my pocket and lay the scales out on the table next to all of our stuff, which I would love a photograph of, by the way, because this table is badass at this point. And I'm like, I got to figure out what's written right there. But when everybody comes back from lunch, Bert, you and I could go in the front door and go right up to Mr. Sparks.
Yep.
I have an idea.
He was real good to me, actually. The day that I was vacant, he covered for me.
I think he may give up the keys. And in so doing, we can get downstairs and let the ladies in through the back door. We assemble in the basement, and then I do what I got to do. And if it doesn't work, we know how to get out. And that's the other plan that's the other thing that has to be figured out in this room right now, is what is the exit for all four of us? All four of us.
Oh.
I kind of feel like a weird bond with the statue of Lady Justice. So I kind of have this feeling that I can depend on her a little bit, and she's in the courthouse. I also want to put that scarf near the scales, just to see if anything happens.
Okay, you lay the scarf down near the scales. And Helena, being so familiar with the scarf, you see the paisley pattern on it shift to become the eyes again. The eyes that are looking and searching. And you have that intense feeling that you should be wearing this, that you should not have taken it off. But there is no apparent interaction between it and the scales, and no one else. You all just see a paisley scarf of fine silk laying next to scales.
I want to put it on as a blindfold.
Okay. And you put it on. And with that, let's have one mild magic surge for everyone, and we're going to take our first break here today. It's going to be a quick 5-minute break, and then we shall discover what we discover, and we shall begin our ball against the courthouse.
We still at 614?
Yeah.
Yes.
175.
Thank you so much for all your donations today, guys. I've changed it up. Rather than having the big monthly goal on screen, I'm just putting up stream goals, and you guys are absolutely smashing it today. Let's put it this way. Thank you very much, Cleric of God, as well. I'm just about to put up a donation goal for double what the original stream goal was, and that's insane that we're only £6 away from already beating it.
For the month or for the show?
For the show. We've changed it from monthly to streamly.
Oh.
You know.
Oh, cool. Well, that's great.
Okay.
That's awesome.
While those are being rolled and sorted out, I'm going to go take my real quick break. I will be back in a couple of minutes.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to sort those out when I come back. I'm going to take a break as well. I'll be right back.
Everyone else, please, chat with chat.
Yeah. Has anyone got any questions about our characters before we go and blow everything up effectively? Like, how are you two finding this for the... I can't believe this is the finale. Like, at all. It's kind of
You know you're lucky.
blowing my mind that we're at the end of this already, and I'm really sad about it. Like, really sad about it. So this is one of my favorite games ever. So
Yeah, me too.
mm.
Me too. Yeah, no, Anna, you go first.
No. Okay. I have a lot of feelings, and I've expressed a lot of feelings about this. I don't want it to end. But it's okay for me that it is. Like, I've kind of accepted that because that's how stories go. Stories end, regardless of how it ends. I haven't decided how I feel about if I want my character to survive or not. I don't know, because I am in love with her. I will reincarnate her eventually at some point, because this is one of my favorite characters I've done. So regardless, she lives with me. But if she dies here in this story, I can accept that, because that means this story is ending, which it is inevitably, and I can handle that. But yeah, this has been really fun, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
I think it's that point of, I don't want it to end, so this could technically be the best point for it to end, because you don't want to go too far with the story and then go, okay, this needs to stop, sort of thing.
Yeah.
I want to play Lucia again. I want to see her maybe later on, if she survives this. I want to see what she becomes effectively. But
I was thinking about that driving up here. I'd love to see Lucia in like 20 or 30 years, because she's in her late 20s probably, and rising, and then Prohibition will end, and she'll inherit the upstate New York leg of her. She'll inherit that crew more than likely, depending on, it's great. It's really fun to think about Lucia in the 50s, in the Godfather era, having it's great.
And through the World War II, her and
right.
like out there, like maybe, I don't know, on the field somehow.
I mean, if she doesn't kill her brothers, then they would be there. So it's that sort of, what do they come back like as well?
Those things were like the Corleones made their money in olive oil, and then also running molasses out of Canada. And it seems to me that Lucia's and what's left of her family after she controls it is uniquely placed to do that work, and she's gonna make so much money.
I feel she'll become like a mob boss nonna, like Italian nonna, and be terrifying, but still run an ice cream shop on the side, because she can't, like a coffee and ice cream shop, because she can't not at the end of the day. But I think she'd probably be quite scary, but only to someone who isn't nice, effectively.
Yep.
So.
Whew. That sounds like a good conversation. I'm sad I missed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the VOD to see what you all said.
Just a lot of tears and emotions. Maybe
So
just me.
Round up for chat. So far, we have completed 2 Wild Magic Surges, both of Helena's. We have 411, which is target trips over nothing. She tripped and she banged into that garbage can. And also 480, the next NPC the target speaks to implodes. If meeting with multiple NPCs at once, roll for which NPC. I decided to slightly tweak it. She didn't speak to the gentleman behind the wheel. I imagine maybe she yelled stop. Or something of that nature. And she pops his head.
Oh god.
We have 1 outstanding, which I will apply at some point, which came from the retweets. We have Eddie's big number 1 of 614, which will be happening at some point today. Deception check, thank you for the donation for a good thing for Eddie. I think that may come into play with what's coming up next. And we will be rounding out with those 1 Wild Magic Surge each that was just dished to the crew.
Also, on top of that, we have one random wild magic surge from Cleric of Court that is nearly the last thing to come in. Also, thank you very much, Malhadale, for gifting Velveteen a sub. Velveteen, if you let me know where that roll 20, where that nat 20 or nat 1 would like to go, then by all means.
And I want to take a moment to remind the players that you each have currently at least 2 nat 20s each to use. Eddie, you in fact have 4 or 5 currently. Anna, with Helena, you have 2 advantages as well. We need to use these up by the end of the season, so keep that in mind as you're making rolls.
Ooh. Okay.
Jeez. Oh, boy.
Scrat, as you send me these, can you let me know who they belong to?
Oh, yep.
Thank you. Okay, perfect. So, Eddie, you settle down with your papers, the scales, the scarf, the book, the various things that you've assembled here, the map. What are you researching first?
I need to translate the ancient Egyptian text written on the scales that were sent to me by AC.
Okay. You did find a book in the library which is helpful to your cause. It is, unfortunately, not quite a direct anything you want from Egyptian into English book, but you do feel that with it you could probably get a rough idea of some of these symbols. And as such, I would like you to make a hard language check.
Can I use a 20 on
You
it?
may use a 20 on it.
Yeah. I
Okay.
do.
You settle in and you know this book isn't going to give you everything that you need, and you pull from a place in the back of your mind, the place where the learner lives. That part of you that has always wanted answers, that has always been determined to find answers. And you go through all of the various seminars and lectures that you've attended, and you pull from that scholarly place, and slowly but surely you piece together a very loose translation, which states, in unbalance, a universe is born. So I'll take that in chat so you guys can have that for reference, but it's in unbalance, a universe is born.
Is Helena wearing her blindfold?
Yes, because I don't want people to look in my eyes.
Helena, hold up your left hand, palm up. All right, I hang the scale over her index finger.
Okay. What is your intention as you place the scale, the fine chain of it, over her index finger?
I'm hoping that it does not kill her or anyone in the room. And what I'm really hoping is that some sort of truth will be revealed. Clearly, her eyes and what she looks at have significant power at this point. If the blindfold can focus it, then we're headed in the right direction. And I say to her, as I put this over your finger, I say, I don't think this was sent for me. I think this was sent for you.
And so Helena sits there. 2 parts of the garb of the Lady of Justice, the blindfold and the scales. And Helena, for the briefest of moments, you can see inside the courthouse, inside that main foyer, you can see the people coming and going. You can see there is a boy arguing in Italian with an older looking woman who is crying and weeping and trying to get towards a man in a suit. And then as you blink, you can see the paisley pattern and the light coming through from Miller's Cafe. But within you, make a sanity check.
Fail.
Within you, you feel that flare, that anger, that things are being done that are unjust. Things are being done that are unfair, that are out of balance, that you should be putting them right, that you haven't solved this murder, that you know that there are people trying to cheat the system, that there are people that have been blinded to the truth, that people haven't performed the roles that they should have done so that you could see, so that you could defend the innocent.
Looks like we got a new friend.
And you lose another 3 points of sanity.
I am below my half.
Below your half.
Yeah.
But you are also aware of that. You now have a connection. It is not a perfect connection, but something about the fact that you are slowly being transformed into an avatar is contributing to your connection to the statue in the foyer.
Okay. So I'm going to explain that to them, especially so Eddie knows that what he did something. So I can somehow see. I don't know if I'm seeing through her eyes in the courthouse or what, but it kind of feels like something like that.
I'm saying is I don't know that the basement has any significance other than concealing us. I think it's that lobby. I think it's that foyer. I think it's that statue. And
There you go.
I'm thinking maybe we just have to walk right in the front door.
Hang on a minute, Eddie. Is there anything in that book of yours about that script that we saw in the basement? The thing that looked like the second half of a text that had been scrubbed half out. By the hands of the innocent, the guilt is seen. The innocent condemned by the peers that watched.
Oh yeah.
Is there anything like that in that fancy book of yours?
Not that I remember, but I do remember what you're talking about. That was written on the door.
On the
when we were
wall
down
in the
there.
basement. Yeah, it looked like someone had drawn a line through it. Just cut it off.
That's my real fear here is that we'll go in there and call this thing out, and there won't be an opportunity to do what clearly has to be done in there. Helena, do you feel like you know the truth of this? Do you feel like if we went in there without guns blazing, do you feel like there's something you could actually do in there to save somebody? Because that they're about to be put on trial for something that I think we're all pretty sure, or they are being put on trial for something we're pretty sure they didn't do.
What exactly is our plan, though? Are we just going to go and shoot something? What are we even trying to capture or kill, or what are we trying to do?
The rat
I'm gonna
man
walk in
and the
that-
tentacles.
I'm going to walk in that lobby, and I'm either going to do it in the lobby or do it in the basement, and I'm going to perform it's
Yes,
known
the
as the Star Ruby.
Yeah.
And if I can do the Star Ruby, it's a form of the Greater Banishment Ritual, and it should expose this thing. It's the only thing I can think of that'll actually call it out and reveal it. And then I can point a gun at it and kill it. That's my best idea, other than blowing the place up.
I hope that I still have the powers that I have that have been killing things with my eyes. I'm not sure about that. That might have just been a temporary thing. I don't know if I can confidently say it will work. But I do know that I have something going on with this blindfold, and I can see. And the statue did tell me in the beginning, see the truth, for I am blind. So I feel like I can see through her in a way. So maybe she's on our side.
And maybe you don't have to go in there.
That's
if I can
true.
do this, if I can do this without putting you in harm's way, Helena, that's how it's going to be done.
But I could help with the ritual.
If you want to walk through the front door, I will get you through the front door.
I don't think we should necessarily kill innocents on the way in.
I don't want to kill anyone that doesn't deserve it. I'm not my father. But I can get them out.
Is the trial going on right now? Like the
next
official
question.
sentencing?
Is the jury meeting right now? Is it a weekday?
Eddie and Helena, why don't you make what would be appropriate for remembering something? An intelligence check. We'll see if you can recall what is going on in the trial. You happen to be sitting on the jury.
I can't, and I think it's because I've been gone for 3 weeks in my memories.
Intelligence check, huh?
Mm-hmm. Don't forget you also have nat 20s.
Yeah, I passed it though.
Okay. All right, Eddie, you'll dimly recall from hours sat in this courtroom that you barely remember that the trial does seem to be wrapping up. They are probably presenting something along the lines of final evidence today or summations, but you're not entirely sure exactly where they're at. It's nearing the end of the trial. It's been a quick trial.
Do we need a distraction? Because I can do that pretty well.
Not
If you want to
blow
get people
someone's
to
head off.
look away from you doing this ritual, I can make something happen.
I think we go in there. You leave me and Bert in the lobby. Wow, shit! I don't know how to break us up.
I think Lucia is our guard.
Yeah, if you need a guard while you're doing the ritual, you take Lucia's, and well, I could watch Helena's back, and Helena could watch mine.
Mm-hmm.
Get her into the courtroom.
I can cause a scene. I can break up the trial and give my opinions on the cabin.
I mean, we're going to cause a scene no matter what we do. And I feel like if we wait till night, we'll have to break in more locked doors. And if something has to happen, Helena, if you feel something has to happen before they come to a verdict.
Yes.
Well,
Yes.
Hey, why don't we say that you're like painting a mural or something when you're doing this ritual? You know, that way people they might think you're just doing an art installation or something. You can maybe get away with it in front of everyone.
you'd also hopefully be able to lead them out whatever fire exit they have and maybe try and steer them. If all hell breaks loose,
Why not
lobby.
start a fire if
Yeah,
you
we
want
can
people
start a
to run out and exit?
I can do that.
That's a brilliant idea. Fire. That's perfect.
Run
Okay.
in, scream fire, and then if there's smoke, people will run.
Before you scream fire, though, you've got to give Helena a chance. If she walks in that room and she starts affecting something, if she starts to have some sort of, you remember the look on the face of that defense attorney? There's something weird about some of the people in there. Who knows what the hell's going to happen when she walks in there with that blindfold on, holding these scales.
And that's what I'm saying, why we should do it during the trial and not at night while these people are here, because they're part of it.
Yeah.
There's people in that
Okay.
courtroom who are integral to this happening,
so-
working.
I need a duffel bag.
I can
I'm
get
sure
you
we
that.
can get you one. Yeah. So okay, so Eddie and Lucia are outside doing the ritual and watching protection. I can start a fire. I'm real good with fire at the minute.
Yeah, we
Oh,
know
yeah.
that.
And Helena can try and address the jury, and I'll wait for Helena's signal. If it seems like they're not taking it, I'll start the fire. Then I'll let off a few rounds and tell everyone to get out. We got any kindling? That'll make a fire real quick.
Can't you just make fire?
Last time.
A lighter, some alcohol,
Well, yeah, I've got a lighter. Oh, yeah, I've got a
you
lighter.
got a glass.
Have you got any of that head splitter around, Lucia?
Oh,
Of course.
That'll go up all right.
And she'll just hand a bottle over.
Eddie, how much time do you need to do this ritual?
10 to 15 minutes.
So we need to set the fire at the appropriate time where he's not going to get caught in the fire. But if we start with the ritual, people are going to walk by. So I think I need to start my distraction first and get everyone in the courtroom. And I will shout and go off and crazy stuff. So I will try that.
Place place is made of stone, so it's not like it's going to fall apart around us. If
Yeah.
anything, the smoke we're worried about, and
Yes.
traffic coming out the front door rather than the back. But
There's only one
that
main
point-
entrance. Which
That's
is through
true.
the lobby, isn't it?
And that's the blueprint question that I have is and Charlie, that's ultimately the question is the front the only way in and out of this place?
Nope.
Well,
You
whether it
already
is
know
or not,
there
that's
is-
where the people are going to go. They're
You
going
already
to.
know there's an exit out to the back, which is the ornamental gardens, where the scaffolding for the hangings can be set up sometimes. There's statues out there. There's a whole garden out there. It's very finely decorated, and there will also be side exits as well. There are ways in.
We never
You
checked
got a
out that
point about
garden.
that way. Go ahead.
We never checked out that garden either, ever. And I had all those visions about it and the trials, the witch trials.
Well, if anything, it's a fine place for all those people to confront what they're about to do.
Maybe we can set the fire there.
All I
If
know
it's
is
an
I can't have 100 people running through this place, running through the lobby when I'm right in the middle of it.
If there's something somewhere that the people that we need to get, the ones that we're worried about to go to save something to protect it, that's where the fire should be. We don't need to worry, I guess, as much about the people in the fire because we want them distracted, which I can distract people in this trial. I can stop it from like going on, and we can set a fire somewhere that someone that is in a part of this thing will need to go and check out to make sure nothing's going on while you do a ritual.
Okay.
But I don't
Sounds
know
good
where
to
that
me.
would be. Garden or not, I don't know. They need to be here. I feel like the black-eyed people need to be here.
Okay. You need to be physically present in the courtroom in this short term. Wherever the fire gets put, whether it's to push them out or lead them to something, we'll figure it out when we get there. Gives me time to do what I got to do in the living room, and I've got the right bodyguard. Because if this thing shows up and it's vulnerable to weapons, then Lucia and I are going to put a lot of holes through this sucker. And if anything, that's going to scare him off because that will make no small amount of noise. But either way, if you can't get in there, you get in there and push them out. Either way.
Push them out of the
Does that make
courtroom.
Yeah,
All of
yeah.
the people or just the black-eyed people?
all of them. All of
Okay.
them. Because if I have to take that building out, we can't have innocent people in the building.
Okay. So I think I should go in, start my crazy rant. You can start your ritual while they're distracted, possibly, and then I can get them out.
We're going to walk in through the front doors. If I see Sparks, I'm going to attempt to fleece him for the keys so that we've got total control of the place. I might toss him to you. Either way, you walk right into the courtroom, you and Bert, and you do your thing. I have a feeling that the moment you walk in there with the blindfold on and holding those scales, that whole place may turn polka dot and purple. Who knows what in the hell's going to happen when you enter those doors.
I'll see something.
Leaving me and Lucia alone. And if anything, if you're seeing through the statue's eyes, you get to keep an eye on me.
Yes.
I'm in the lobby with Lucia. I'm calling this thing out. Bing, bang, boom. You push them out. It goes sideways. You'll know. We light the fuse. We all run.
Let's do it. Let's just go. Let's do it.
I want
We
you
know
guys
that
to know that I want you guys to know that this is the only way as far as I can tell. This thing's got its claws in us good. I don't know how else to do it.
Alright, then let's kill this thing and make sure it doesn't take on... or try and take on our others. I don't want Victoria to end up having this on her back.
Like, Lucia's shrugging on this big coat, and she'll go and find one of her brothers, almost like flat cap sort of trainer of style, and tuck her hair up into it. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. And then I got two things to do. I grab Bert and I look him in the eye and I point at Helena. I say, nothing happens to her.
Agreed.
Then I go over to Lucia, and I look you in the eye, and I say, I've been describing this thing as if it's one thing. We have clues that would suggest that it is many. Whether it is one or whether it is many, they all die today.
It's why I packed many guns.
I make sure to grab this little leather kit that I have of candles and a compass and chalk and various powders.
Okay, where precisely are you planning on doing this ritual, Eddie? You have
In the lobby in
blueprints
front of the statue.
in the foyer.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's where I think that the chamber is built. That's where we walked in when this began. That's the statue that looked at us when this started, that looked at Helena when this started. That's the statue she has the connection with.
And if Helena had remembered, she may have also told you it's the perfect Fibonacci room.
Right, yeah, that got it.
I just wanted to check, make sure that was the room you were going for.
It ain't the basement. You know, the basement's sitting there full of God knows what. It's not the vulnerable heart of this thing. It's the foyer.
Describe to me the scene as you make your way to the courthouse.
First of all, a bunch of rock stars cross that street. I mean, come on, let's take a minute. Locked and loaded. It's good times.
We're in a straight line, just like the four of us, like straight line, just walking.
Like Abbey Road. Who's not wearing shoes?
Yeah. No, side by side, like.
Oh,
side by side.
okay.
Like power walk it.
Like Bee Gees strutting down the street.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Dun dun dun.
We are the Bee Gees.
Ramblers, let's get rambling. And I think we, I as we get towards the steps, I flash this thing. I just hate this thing. I hate everything about this building. It is, this is my enemy, and I go in first, and yeah. I don't kick open the doors, but I'm forceful about it.
As you climb the steps to the courthouse behind you, the fountain with its clock tolls the hour. 12 long chimes.
Mm-hmm. I walk right in.
Lucia will probably follow close behind. Not necessarily at his side, but close behind.
Where the devil have you been? And there's Sparks, and he's like patting his sweating forehead with this handkerchief, clearly panicked. You can see the pit stains on his white shirt, his suspenders holding up his trousers. He's like tucking them up, trying to look official. Clearly so flustered and so panicked and relieved to see you, Eddie. And then he sees Lucia. He's like, oh, I thought you'd been stolen or abducted or whatever the word is. Hi, it's great to have you back, but you can't sit on my jury anymore. I'm real sorry about that. Eddie, we need to get you up to the courtroom right now. They're in session. I've said you were on your way. Where's Helena?
Why aren't we on the jury?
You're on the jury. She's not. She disappeared for 3 weeks.
I was ill.
No, you were abducted. It's very clearly in the papers. I'm remembering now. I always read the papers every day. They come to me in the morning, noon, night.
Would you believe everything the papers tell you?
Well, honey, you gotta believe someone these days.
Yes. So she sort of like leave it, like telling herself to just. Yes, I was kidnapped.
Well, I'm glad you're unkidnapped. You look good. You look very healthy. You should probably talk to the police about that. I didn't see anything in the papers about you coming back, but I will check later. Eddie, upstairs. Where's Helena? Focus.
Helena is on the steps of the courthouse staring at the door. She has not come inside. But I still have that blindfold on and I can see things.
Everything all right, Eleanor?
I feel really strange about walking through this door for some reason.
Do you want to go through the back door instead or something? I mean, Eddie was going to get us a key, right?
Eddie, can he hear me?
He's through the
Oh.
door in the courthouse. If you
Eddie,
yelled
come-
loud enough, you probably could.
Eddie!
Helena, honey! And Sparks pushes past Eddie to the door. There you are! Come on in, we were waiting for you.
I can't.
You're looking
I can't-
good. Perfect for the last day of court.
I can't move through the door. I'm like just stood there still.
Does it get into you? I know you probably heard the rumors that the scaffolding's already going up, but don't worry, it may not come to that. You made the right choice. I believe in you. And he has a fat, podgy arm on his shoulder, and he's adjusting the fat cigar that's hanging out of his mouth. So come on, let's go. Court's already in session.
The scaffolding has been put up. Where is it?
Oh, around the back where they always put it. Don't worry, it probably won't come to that.
In the garden?
Yes.
Helena, that's fine. You head on in. He's not said nothing to me, right?
Nope.
Hey, you head on in. I'll catch you later on.
Hey,
I will-
you. I recognize you. Do I know you?
I sort of like turn my head down. Nope. Just delivering my daughter.
Oh, okay. It's very nice to meet you, sir. You have a
Yeah.
fine daughter, one of the best jury women this country's ever seen.
Yep,
One of the first, but one of the best.
very proud. Very proud.
Sparks, listen to me. Miss Hawthorne here is going to go inside, go ahead and sit down, and she and I have been comparing notes, and she's essentially going to function as my proxy for the next hour or so of the trial. But I will be going in there to sit down. here shortly.
That's not how it works, Eddie. It's 12 men, excuse me, ma'am. It's 12 people on that jury, and you all have to be there. And if you're not there, then I have to go and find another one, and I have to swear them in. It's a whole system. You can't be a proxy. We need both of your opinions.
Sparks, are you aware of the multiple code violations upon this building? Are you aware that this building is a massive fire hazard? I've been down to the courthouse and looked at the blueprints, and you've got a situation on your hands here. And as a student of architecture, I would let you know that you've got quite a problem here with this building. And as soon as the city catches wind that nothing's been done about it, you're the man responsible. Are you aware of
He grabs
this?
a handful of your shirt and he pulls you real close and he turns you slightly away from Helen. Listen, I don't give a flying fuck about architecture, but you are going to be in that courtroom in the next 5 minutes if it kills me.
You are going to give me the keys to this courthouse right now.
Why the fuck would I do that?
Because I told you to. I need all the keys to all the doors, whether they're on your belt or in your desk. I need them now.
Okay, are you intending to intimidate this man into giving you your keys or to persuade him?
I'm going to, at first, attempt to intimidate him.
Okay, so make that roll. And you have your nat 20s that you may use.
Oh, but I've got such a fun backup plan.
Okay.
Let's see if that actually did it. This is intimidate?
Yes.
Probably not. Oh yeah, no, not at all.
He laughs in your face and exhales this great big plume of smoke. Oh, come on, Eddie. We don't have time for this. Let's go. Come on, Miss Hawthorne.
Excuse me, Mr. Sparks.
Gina, it's great to have you back. I already told you I'm afraid we replaced you, but I'll catch up with you once these two are up in the courthouse doing their thing.
I am afraid I'm going to need those keys. And she will just pull a gun out and just point it.
Lucia, look at Lucia, and I'm like, why? Look at Lucia, and then
Want the keys, right?
I grab Sparks, I get right in his ear, and I say, "Will no one help the widow's son?"
And you see the letter G has formed on his lips as he is about to alert the police that are near by this building to the presence of a weapon threatening a court official. When he hears the words come into his ear, make me a luck roll, please, Eddie.
Oh.
Use a 20. Can you use a 20?
I use a 20? No, not on a luck roll.
Use a
Or is that
20.
a sanity roll?
You can use a luck roll on a 20.
Oh, I used 20. Oh, the 20. Bring it.
Alright.
This is
Yeah.
the best.
And he choked on the word that is about to come out of his mouth. Hey, we're all friends here, Lucia. Aren't we, Mr. Streebeck? And he pats your shoulder, and he reaches towards your hand to shake it.
Yes.
And you shake, and he does some strange hand movements, and suddenly, looped over your middle finger, you find 3 keys are pressed into your palm. But I really do need you upstairs. I'm not sure how I'm going to explain it to them if you're not. Now that we've helped each other, I need you to do your part. Justice needs to be served.
All right, fine. And I look at Lucia. 5 minutes. I mouth 5 minutes to her.
It won't come down in 5 minutes. I'm going to get you. 5 minutes.
I give her the duffel bag.
There's a public gallery if Miss Miller would like to watch the trial.
I can't wait.
May I, outside, walk around the garden to inspect these gallows?
Sure, you may walk around the building. It's kind of one of these that has like steps all the way around, so you can kind of get around the whole building. And you come to the back, and the former gardeners have been very neatly trimmed. There are various box bushes out there. And on the patio area, you can see men are working, hammering together old pieces of wood to make up the gallows.
So I'm gonna walk on up. Like, good evening, gentlemen. They're getting this scaffold up already, huh?
Yep.
You know, I heard it's gonna be all in the papers, this one. Lots of people around. That looks like real old wood. Are you lacquering it?
It's already lacquered.
Oh.
They wanted to use the historical ones. Historical case, historical gallows, 6 sense of humor. Here you go.
Yeah. I don't know, though. Don't you think it could use a fresh coat? Looks kind of dry.
I'm not sure the dryness of the wood really affects the drop.
Oh, haven't you heard? No, there's gonna be flash photography everywhere. Dry wood and flash photography, it just absorbs all the light.
Make a persuasion. As you attempt to baffle this man with weird science.
Is that fast talk? Fast talk?
Yeah, it's fast talk. Sorry.
A narrow success. Actually, can I use 2 nat 20s and make that a
Yes, you can.
Thank you.
Yes. Oh, well, that would be mighty embarrassing if the corpse is there and the flames are getting higher and yeah, we don't want to be inhuman. Joe, where do we put the lacquer? Have we got lacquer? And there's a man, and he's actually halfway up the scaffolding around the gallows, and he's chewing this bubble gum, and he just pops it. And he climbs down, and he gives you the stinkest look. Like, this guy hates you so much right now for ruining his day. And I'll go check the basement. I'll be back. And the man who likes to pop his gun walks inside the building to go and attempt to find some lacquer to keep the scaffolding from catching fire.
Say, I tell you what, I can give you a hand if you like. Just pass me a brush.
Oh, it's a good job you came by. I had no idea that flash photography could just spontaneously combust a thing like that. Now, what do they do when you go camping? I've heard about people liking to take vacation photos now.
Yeah, haven't you ever heard of forest fires?
No.
I'm telling you, latest thing. They say that's the cause.
I thought it was just lightning that did that sort of thing.
No, not always. Used to be. It's the flashes you see more than the lightning.
Things you find out these days. I'd like you to stick around. You tell me some more stories.
Oh, hell yeah. I'm going to take that paintbrush. I'm going to walk to the other end of the thing. I'm going to be dousing that paintbrush in the head splitter. And I'm going to be caking this scaffold in head splitter.
Okay. So away you go. The popper returns with 2 great big large drums full of this dark, it kind of looks like treacle,
yeah,
molasses, that sort of thing. this lacquer for the wood. Yeah. But you know, the problem with this is it's going to take days to dry. That's going to hold things up. They get real funny when you hold up justice. You know?
Oh, don't worry about it. Once it's on there and it's all wet, I mean, as long as it doesn't drip on the prisoners, we just won't do that bit, so it doesn't drip on them.
Hush up, Joe. Get back to work. Get back to work. We gotta prevent forest fires here. I'm something like that. And he's obviously just confused by your fast talk. He has no idea what's going on anymore. He's just painting the half-assembled gallows with lacquer now. Easier to paint it before you nail it together, you know. He tries to recover his situation.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard that. I'm just gonna keep on like just talking real quick about absolute bull to this guy.
I heard this will be the 113th person to be hung on this gallows.
Oh, that's a sure lot of people, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do
A
you
lot of people, and their last breath just...
Yep.
Morbid curiosities, let me tell you. Have you ever been to a hanging, sir?
You know, I've struggled with the hangings. It's okay when the neck breaks, but I've got a fear of choking, so I don't like to see it when people are choking out like that.
You gotta get the right rope tension, so the bounce is just right. Much quicker, you don't get the wiggling.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't like to see him dancing.
And you continue with your painting of the scaffolding outside. And the conversation kind of veers between really mundane things and hideously morbid things. The guy very confused about a lot of things, and you can fast talk him into believing the sky is green at this point. He's there. Whatever you say is gospel to this man right now. Do you have any final things that you would like to persuade him are true?
Hell, I'm gonna tell him that up in New York where I'm from there was a masked crusader going around saving lives, and that it was a woman, and they're calling her the Wonder Woman.
Well, ain't that the gosh darn thing? You give them a few rights and they go saving the world.
Yeah.
Well, can't be a bad thing.
And he takes his hat off and he scratches his head. Hey, you're right. That's one less job for me to take care of. I don't mind that so much. Maybe I'll look out for that in the papers.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you'll hear all about it.
A book or a radio show about it. Okay. So you've now convinced this guy there is Wonder Woman running around the world. And we go back to the courthouse, and upstairs you go into the courtroom and you're sat in the jury dock. And the space is full, and you can't sit in your normal seats, despite Mr. Sparks being fairly insistent that you should. The other 10 members of this jury just kind of want to get on with it. They all have very grim expressions. Some of them look bored, and some of them look just resigned to what is coming that way. The showman prosecutor that you remember from defense, that you remember from the first day, is doing his best song and dance. And as you sit and you listen, you realize the story he's telling makes no sense. It goes backwards and forwards and round in circles. And you're not sure if it is a tactic to confuse the jury into a verdict of reasonable doubt and therefore not guilt, or if he is just telling stories for the sake of it. The prosecutors, meanwhile, remain much more... They still wear suits, but they're much cheaper suits, and they also remain quite baffled as to what the defense is doing. In the accused dock, I'm forgetting all the words right now, sit two disheveled men who have been dressed in flashy suits. Long matted hair has been slicked back in an attempt to make them presentable. Helena, you recognize them as the two men that had appeared at the top of the stairs during the incident in the cabin in the woods. The two that had pled with you to help them, to see the truth.
Okay, that's strange.
Am I sitting next to Helena or?
Yes, you're one. It's kind of one behind the other, so it's up to you who's on the back bench and who's on the front bench.
I sit behind you. And I with you seated in front of me, I tell you, put the blindfold on. Hold up the scales.
Oh, it's been on. It's been on the whole time.
What do you see?
What do I see?
You see the paisley pattern. You see the lights of the room. You can make out just underneath where there's a little gap so that you can properly see where you're going, so you don't do actual damage to yourself.
Yeah.
You can see the movement of the suit moving around. And as you sit down and you focusing by Eddie's words, make a power roll, please.
Yeah, dude. You got, and while you're doing it, you gotta love this like moment of tension where I should be out in the lobby doing this shit, but for a second she's like a tuning fork. You know, she's as much a receptor as anything else. So I'm like, I'll lean forward with my, like this, with my hands on the back of her chair, whispering in her ear. It's great.
What you doing? I got a 6.
Perfect. The paisley begins to shift. And for a moment you are blinking as eyes blink back at you. Eyes that are far too close to you. There's a claustrophobia almost. And then you're back in the foyer. And you are looking around. You hold in your hands the scale. And in your other hand, it's empty. And you flex your grip. There should be something in your other hand. And then you see upon your scale, held up, 2 tiny men stand on one of the plates. And on the other hand, a circle of rat men dance around the gallows. And slowly the scales tip.
Okay, I'm about to say if they're even or not. So who's the higher?
At present, the higher are the two men, and it's the rat men that are bringing down the other side of the scales.
So essentially those men are innocent. So I'll tell Eddie that. Do I see anybody in the lobby in that corridor through my eyes?
Make a spot hidden check.
Oh shit.
Extreme success.
Extreme success. In the foyer, you see that it's actually gone relatively quiet as people have shuffled up to the 2 courthouses that are the courtrooms, that are in the upper floor. You see at the desk the secretary who had been there on the first day, who had directed you towards the green door.
Mm-hmm. And
she is busy shuffling papers. Occasionally people come to and fro across the space, going other places, coming from other places. So there is no standing traffic.
Okay, so I'll tell Eddie that this might be the best time to try your ritual. There's hardly anything going on in there. Only the secretary and a few people wandering through.
Okay, I put my hand on
Miss Hawthorne, put down your arm. Mr. Sparks is there, hovering. You can smell his cigar before you feel his hand reach out, and
I glare at him. I hold up one finger to Mr. Sparks.
Mr. Sparks' eyes dart to the judge and dart to the lawyers, and then to the great big public panel. Everyone in this courtroom is currently staring at Helena.
And I just whisper in her ear, think about these 10 people sitting next to us. Think about the jury. Tell them the truth.
Miss Hawthorne, I believe that's your name. I will have to hold you in contempt of court if you don't stop.
I'm going to stand up and just start shouting all of my thoughts and opinions about this trial, and that the 2 men are innocent, and that everyone in this room is unsafe, and that these people are evil, and that this courthouse is evil. And I'm just standing there holding these scales with the blindfold on, shouting these things.
Mr. Sparks, please, remove the jury. Everyone, quiet, order. As the judge attempts to quiet the general dissent that is now just filling this courtroom as everyone is talking to each other. Everyone is staring at you and talking to each other.
And I don't stop shouting. Even when people are talking, I'm still going.
Come on, Mr. Strubeck, you two. Sparks is trying to usher everyone out as two court guards come across to remove Helena from the dock.
Oh man. Oh man. Oh man.
I'm still shouting and I'm still holding my scales.
Take it down to holding. Yes, thank you.
Nope.
And
No.
the
No.
two
I
guards-
pull my gun.
They still have to pull the gun.
I pull a gun.
The two guards reach for their guns.
Yeah. I fire a single shot into the air. I grab Helena by the neck.
As soon as I hear that shot, I'm going to turn around and be like, "What the hell was that?" Light a match and drop it on this freshly lacquered gallows.
Start shouting fire.
I think Lucia, I'm assuming, will have heard it as well. Will just stand up from the seat that she was sitting in the lobby because she didn't go to the front of it, and just slowly just walk towards the door where everyone's going to come out and just wait.
Put the gun
sure.
down, sir. I said put the gun down or I will be forced to shoot you.
No. I start moving Helena towards the doors out to the lobby. I don't point a gun back at them, but I do have it up in the air.
At which point they are going to shoot fire at you.
Oh, Christ. Jesus, Lord.
Oh, God.
Did I blow up our plan?
You you can make a dodge roll. It will be at disadvantage as I would like to use up some of the bad things that are unfortunately sat there in that bar.
All right, folks, here we go. 1 hour left. It is here. Here we go. Gonna fail that. About to get shot.
Okay. And there is a click and a bang, and it seems to happen in slow motion for you. And you take a terrifying amount of damage.
No, come on.
You take 3 points of damage.
There you go.
The shot brings down, it pings you in the shoulder, and you feel it go into the muscle and just nestle there.
Can I hear this? Can I hear the...
You can definitely hear a gunshot that just went off. Everything else is kind of muffled. The doors here are quite thick and heavy.
So can I not hear, like, if Eddie screams or yells out or anything?
Eddie, do you scream or yell? Upon being shot.
Yeah, I yell upon being shot. Bet your ass.
All
Yeah.
right. Lucia, make a listen check.
God.
Ma'am, get down! Ma'am! The second security guard is rounding on Helena, trying to separate the pair of you. Helena, do you acquiesce to his request to get down? Put your hands on your head. Get down! Get down on the ground!
No, but I'm gonna take off my blindfold and look him in the eyes.
Okay. Are you
Just
going
in
to
case
attempt to
that's
use your power?
Yes.
You are. Alright. So, this is a wild magic surge audience. This is something that you have gifted to Helena. Helena, please roll that damage. I believe it was 2d6.
Wait.
8. Perfect. You focus in on this man. You can see where his hairline is receding. He seems fairly young though, and the lines on his forehead are deep considering his younger features. And his baby blue eyes suddenly turn pink and then red as blood begins to pour down his face. Roll me a sanity check.
Oh, goodness. Do I have to do that every time I try that power? It's going to be a sanity?
Yes, but also this is for something else.
Okay. Oh, no, I failed.
Okay. Blood begins to leak too from his nose and down onto his collar from his ears. And you feel hunger deep in your stomach. You crave the taste of that blood, the iron, the saltiness of it.
It's true.
You desire to pursue this man who tried to stop you from your righteous seeking of justice. And you gain the need to cannibalize him.
I
Thank you,
do.
Wild Magic Surges, for all of this fun.
Now I'm a cannibal. Cool. Okay, I have tentacles inside of me I can kill by looking, and I want to eat human flesh. Yep. Sounds right.
There's a sound of kneecaps smashing into hard stone floor as the man falls. His partner's looking around. I said, get on the ground!
So I imagine with the amount of lacquer out here, this thing's gonna go up real quick. So I'm gonna start screaming fire. I'm be like, shit, you didn't use the fireproof lacquer! Fire! Fire! And I'm gonna be like, as soon as I can, I want to grab something that's on fire and throw it through the courthouse window.
Joe, you idiot! Alright, maybe a throw check.
There's a throw
Lucia,
check?
you can hear the cries of fire from outside, the screaming of people in the courtroom as there are gunshots going off as people are stampeding in an attempt to exit.
I'm using that advantage.
Okay, you use advantage.
She'll probably, if she hears Eddie in particular, and obviously the rest of the stuff that's going on, she'll go and open the courtroom door effectively to let people out and just see what she's left with.
Okay, Bet, you take up a chunk of scaffolding, the end is on fire, and you try and hurl it at the building. It hits the stone and just clatters back down towards you, landing at your feet, smoldering.
Shit. Okay, is there anything around here that looks fireproof on the building? Maybe it's made of thatch?
Unfortunately, most of the exterior of this building is stone, and there is nothing flammable. There was the window that you attempted to throw the object through, but unfortunately you failed. And Joe and Papa was Joe. The two men are gonna attempt to move you away from the fire. Come on! Don't worry, it's not gonna catch the building on fire. The building's a very old building. It's fine. It's like many fires. And they're trying to usher you away. And you know, worst case scenario, maybe the Wonder Woman shows up. Hey, wouldn't that be a thing?
Joe, that's my cover. I am the Wonder Woman. I need to get in there and save everyone.
At which point they both unhand you and look disgusted and horrified. You're saying you're a woman? Or you're saying you want to be a woman? Hey, which is worse? I don't know.
This is gonna be good.
You set the scaffolding on fire. You're insane. You're criminally insane.
Oh shit. Okay, in that case, I say I pull my gun and I say, "That's right. I'm insane. What are you gonna do about it?"
Shit, no, please. I have a family.
Get out of here!
Man.
Get out of here! I'm gonna fire a couple of shots off above their head.
Yeah. More gunshots ring out, Lucia, this time from outside. The two men are just running for their lives, tripping over their legs and ducking behind a giant topiary bush shaped strangely phallically. And it's only as you see these two men hiding towards a giant phallus that you realize how ridiculous this garden is.
It's just a bunch of dicks? Okay.
Good night,
Oh.
everybody.
There are statues and there's like a nice little pond, but all of the bushes are strangely phallic. And this has not occurred to anyone.
A nightmare.
Drew Cthulhu. Yeah, no, Lucia has run to open the door to see the scene she's in and if she can get people out, as in, like, just get rid of people, then, yeah.
Okay. You begin kind of whole bodily just hauling people out, getting them out, ushering them towards the exit. You know where it is. You're talking in an official voice. I'm going to say a success to get this crowd moving in the way you want on, we'll say fast talk.
Okay. Let's
You just need to succeed.
fast talk. Oh, I am not good at that. She's no fail. She's normally just angry.
Okay, so what in fact happens is they are kind of doing what you're telling, but at one point you just get swept away in this tide of people and you are being pushed down towards the foyer and down towards the exit, and there is little you can do to stop them as they are pretty much whole bodily lifting you and moving you with them.
I think she'll just be yelling for a start, just like, put me down. I said put screaming at these people, and if they don't listen to her, she'll take out a gun and just fire it into the ceiling.
And you have flashbacks to Paris. You have flashbacks to the mob that watched as two women were burnt alive. You have flashbacks to the moment you pulled out your gun and showed some mercy. The crowd doesn't share your flashback and continues to push forward. And because I forgot to do this, Helena, you lose
Okay.
6 points of sanity.
I forgot about that too. What's 39 minus 6?
33.
Oh, duh.
You're
That's
good.
bad. Ignore that. Ignore that.
And you gain another temporary insanity as you lose over 5 points in one go. And this insanity is that nothing can stop you now. You believe you are the Lady of Justice, and whether you are a marionette or not, you have something that needs to be done. It needs to be done to save you. It needs to be done to save existence.
This is not going to go well. Okay, let's do this.
Okay. Eddie,
Yes.
in this moment, as you are faced with a security guard in panic, a courtroom that's kind of swarming towards the exits like rats in the sewer, do you feel small or do you feel big in the narrative of this world?
Big.
Okay. And in this moment, you grow. You
What?
become stronger than you've ever been before. You grow at least 6 inches in height.
Hi. Okay, good. Thank you.
And
If it lasts more than 6 hours, I got to call my doctor.
you are physically a different man while still being yourself. You remember once as a child, your uncles, while you were staying down at that crawfish farm, taking you to a carnival, and there had been a strong man, and his muscles had been unbelievably large, and you looking at yourself, feeling the tightness of the suit, you now have that physicality.
Well,
And you now too feel that you are a champion in this space.
Yes. We got this, Eddie.
I do. I'm going to
We
lift
have-
Helen up and throw her over my shoulder, and then I'm going to shoot this guard. Attempt to aim for the fleshy part of the thigh, but if he goes down, he goes down.
Do I want to eat him?
Helena, do you want to eat the guy that's on the floor?
Yeah.
Tell me about this moment.
My eyes are just trained on this person, and I'm like kind of fighting it, but not really fighting it. So I'm just like kind of hunched over, like kind of creepy, standing over him like I'm about to eat him. I don't know if Eddie can see me doing this.
Eddie, you see Helena approaching the man that she has spelled with a simple look. She is still, her eyes are still covered with the blindfold. In one hand, she still holds up scales, but the other hand is reaching out and forwards towards this man.
I get in front of her. You do the thing where you get your shoulder, put it under her stomach, lift her up, arms against the back of her thighs, and I got her up on my shoulder, and we are going to get the hell out of the room. And if I have to shoot this guy, I will. And we are making our way toward the lobby.
Helena, you have something to do here.
Oh, I don't want to eat Eddie, do I?
No.
Okay, good. Okay, what do I have
You
to
want
do?
to consume your enemy. You want to consume the enemy of justice.
Okay, good.
And Eddie has just picked you up. Eddie is trying to remove you from this situation.
Gotta listen to me. Gotta listen to me. We're leaving. We gotta go in the lobby right now. Got bigger things than this guy.
I'm temporarily insane, so I'm not hearing what you're saying. I am going to be fighting you picking me up, but I'm still thinking about biting that guy's neck out and eating his face.
No.
Yeah, so I'm kicking and punching.
I use all my strength to keep her on my shoulder and get her out of
Okay.
that room.
Let's use brawl to contest
Contested?
this. Yes.
Okay.
Can I do a 20?
If you can, then Anna can, and at which point it's null
I
and
don't-
void.
Yeah, I don't want to.
So we'll just use it as the straight contest.
Brawl. Is it just strength?
It's fighting brawl. I think it's under fighting.
Oh, I see. I was looking for the word brawl. I failed.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Coming with me.
Okay, so I'll just go kind of limp.
Well, hold on, because Eddie might fail worse.
Oh no.
Oh, I do have to roll this?
Yes, you need to roll this as well.
Come on, Eddie. You got advantage.
Oh, good. All right, that's a pass. That's a
Okay.
hard.
So, Scar, if you could take that advantage off of Eddie for that. Eddie, you at first, you seem just consumed in the limbs of this very tall woman who is fighting you as hard as she can. You clamp down onto her and drag her, kicking and screaming over your shoulder and out through the door into the jury holding room, and beyond which you know there's a corridor that you can go out of.
Okay. Hey, can I describe what I would like to do at this
You
point?
sure can. Oh,
All right.
make the firearms check as well, because you're going to shoot that guard, correct?
I'm gonna shoot that guy. You bet your ass I am. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And you called that you wanted to aim to injure.
The fleshy part of the thigh, please.
Okay. Sure. All right. You take the shot. Shoot him in the thigh. And he collapses onto the ground, bleeding profusely, screaming. Helena, you still haven't consumed your enemy, but Eddie has a tight grip on you.
I'm gonna bite his shoulder.
Okay.
Ow! Just got shot in that shoulder.
No, the other one. Oh wait, no, there's blood there. Yeah, I'm gonna bite the shoulder that has blood on it.
All right.
Alright,
You
you go
bite. You sink your teeth in through fabric into thick flesh and muscle.
I really wish I could draw so I could draw these moments. Okay.
Please roll a 1d4 and we'll see how much damage you actually do to him.
Ow!
Dude, sorry.
Alright, please remove 2 hit points. As she is savagely sinking her mouth into your shoulder, intent on consuming your flesh.
This is getting bad. All right. Oh lordy, lordy, lordy.
Lucia,
All right.
you're
Oh.
in the foyer, swept away by the crowds.
I gotta walk around.
Yeah, she's waiting for them, effective for the crowd to clear.
But you are outside in the garden. There is a giant pyre.
Yes, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to push this pyre over as the wood weakens so that it lands up against the courthouse. If I can't push it through the window, I'll just push the whole
Just hit
thing
it through
over.
the window.
Yeah.
Alright, give me some sort of strength.
Well, how about just a straight strength? I don't have anything to use,
Yeah,
so
that's fine.
I don't have any luck to use either, so I'm not having any luck out here.
That's true. Alright, so you push and you push and your hands are sticky with the wet lacquer and the flames are hot against your face and you feel the flame inside of you and you are so happy. Everything is fire. You are fire. The world is fire.
I've got a
And-
stupid idea.
Go.
My hands are covered in lacquer. I'm gonna put my hands in the fire. Now I've got the fire, I can just run right in. I'm gonna run in like a crazy person with my hands on fire.
And this is the moment we will take our break. Our final break for today's session. It's gonna be a really quick one, guys, so like 5 minutes tops.
All right, fine.
Move away. People who are keeping track of wild magic scores, we had cannibalism from Helena. We had the ability to do a significant amount of damage for Helena. Let me see what else we had. I've got a lot of wild magic up here on my screen. We had target decreases or increases 1 size increment and all equipment sizes fit. Flip a coin. And rather than flip a coin, I let Travis have the choice about whether he felt small or big. And that changed his size. I think that is it so far. We also have good and bad things going on.
Oh yeah, there's been a whole ton of those. It's
And thank you to Tweeter and Vecna for giving nat 1s, specifically for sanity checks. I am going to hold on to those until we get right near the end and hope that I can make one of these people fully insane. Because I am cruel mistress.
But we kind of love it, you know? Like, yeah. I mean, this is going to be interesting. I'm having ideas even now. Things are popping off, little sparks of inspiration in my brain. None of them are good. None of them are
That's
good.
where I'm at as well. I'm like, none of these are good ideas, but at the same time.
They are ideas, and that must count for something.
Sorry.
Oh, but it's about to get so good in here. We're about to lock this sucker down.
I've got a pocket full of bullets.
Oh no, I don't have my face on.
I also have fire. This can only be a good combination.
Right. Could you actually re-roll your Wild Magic Surge? You had 381 before, and I think I'm going to change that because you're pretty much at your final destination.
Yeah, okay.
And I want to make sure that we use all these things.
Yeah, of course, of course. 147. Oh, I mean. No.
Alright, we'll use your original one. I'll work it in. I have an idea.
I'll try one more reroll. I'll try one more.
Okay, one more.
Oh.
Because I think you'd suffer that anyway, so. How are you doing, Travis? Are you doing okay?
I'm awesome. We're about to get to the shit right here. This is where our toes are on the line right now. This is good stuff.
Toes are on the line. You've been shot. You've been bitten.
Yeah. Oh, I'm only down to 6
chaos.
HP.
We're gonna go with your original one. Scrap. I'll figure it out.
I've got the worst idea.
So I don't really want all the greenery to turn into pasta. That's not really appropriate for my setting right now. Hildy!
Is there a Hildy? There she is. There's a floof.
Floof.
Just throw her on the bed. Like, just I'm done with this.
Sorry, I had to run those stairs.
Anna, Mr. Cook asks, PB&J, person, blood, and jawbone sandwich?
Rice cake.
You're muted.
I'm going rice cake.
Rice cake? You've got rice cake.
I said, no, this is just a piece of bread, but yes, I like to eat jawbones. That's one of my
She'll grind his bones to make her bread.
Yes,
Okay.
I do that.
Okay, so I think since we're back, we will, Anna, you can continue eating, that's absolutely fine. We're gonna cut to Bert, who has just lit his hands on fire.
Can I redact that slightly and just light the one hand on fire? Just
Yes.
a slight little bit of sanity. I'm just going to put my left hand in. I'm going to put my left hand in so my left hand's on fire. And
Put your left hand in.
and then I'm going to pull my left hand out on fire. And I'm going to run into the courtroom and start shaking it all about to try and set something on fire.
Okay, and you're gonna take 4 hit points of damage as the splash on your skin begins to bubble and burn under the lacquer.
This is
and
fine.
The flame spreads to the cuff of your shirt and
This is
begins
fine.
to slowly eat at the cotton of the fabric of your clothing.
I mean, in Bert's mind, this is fine because, you know, Eddie must be nearly done with that ritual by now.
Sure.
And you run into the foyer and you see people are screaming and hurrying for the exits. Lucia is being swirled around in this mass exodus.
I'm going to start screaming like a red Indian. like waving my hand in the air. Like, and making a lot of noise.
Folks, you can make that joke.
And this, in a way, reminds you of the murder cabin. It reminds you of being escorted down to the basement. A cowboy captive
Oh, yeah.
of 2 young boys. You did not play by the rules then, and you are not playing by the rules now.
No, I am not.
And for a moment, the scene around you transforms. Around you, a massacre is occurring. There are gunshots in the dark. Smoke fills the air, making your vision foggy. And there's the smell of blood and burning flesh. Indians, Native Americans, run by on their ponies. Horsemen on horses charge in the other direction, and there is a fire in the center of this space, a great bonfire that you were drawn to. If only you can make it there, you can set right the spirits of this world. You can save your land from the brutalism that is facing, from the corruption that is facing, the sickness you can smell in the air carried by the smoke.
Rest in peace, Bert. I'm going to start making my way towards the fire, and in doing so, I'm going to take my sticky, flaming hand. I'm going to thrust it into my pocket, which is full of bullets, and I'm going to hold my hand up high. And I'm just going to walk towards the fire.
Okay. And you walk, and the crowds part around you, and Lucia, you can see that sweat dripping down his cheeks from the extreme heat that is radiating off of his arm and is beginning to slowly travel across his body, threatening to consume all of him. And in his hand, you know, are those shells.
She's going to take off. Oh, you can't hit me.
Yeah, Cam.
We can hear you.
We
We
can
can
hear
hear
you.
you.
She's frozen.
Okay.
You back?
You know, okay, yeah, everything through. Sorry. She's going to see him, and she's going to take off her massive coat so everyone can see now everything that she's probably got attached to her. She's going to get rid of the bottle of wine in the pocket, and she's going to run and dive at Bert. Literally just on top, just throw herself at him.
Okay, make a fighting brawl, I think is probably the closest to what's going on.
I think I'm going to use a nat 20 to effectively try and smother the flame and jump on him.
Are you using your coat to try and smother the flame, or just the sheer force of...
No, bit both. Like, it's her coat she's effectively throwing over him, but because how far away she's running at him.
Okay, sure. So you use your nat 20. You launch at him, and the heat is intense, and the smell is revolting. This is not a nice smell. You know that he, underneath this clothing, is severely burnt. You collide with the ground, and you manage to actually stop the spread of the flame across his shirt, pounding his chest as hard as you can using your coat to try and stifle the flames. But that one arm is just consumed and remains on fire. There is nothing you can do to stop this flame. And then there's a pop. And then there's a bang. I would like you both to roll luck.
Oh, rip Bert. Okay, so everyone in chat is aware. Bert has 4 luck out of 100. So to get a success, I need to roll a 3 or a 4. A hard success, I need a 2, and a 1 for an extreme success.
I failed anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a fail.
But your hand is destroyed as these heated rounds explode and shatter the bone.
Mm-hmm.
And you're left with a bloody stump, which is self-cauterizing in this moment as the flame is refusing to go out. And you continue burning, and in your mind, you still see this scene. You've been run over by a rampaging wild stallion that has just crashed you into the ground and attempted to trample you. Roll me a sanity check, and we'll see if you can escape your delusion.
Oh boy. Nope.
Nope. You remain in this delusion. You cannot stop the corruption of your land. You feel the sickness filling your lungs. You are corrupted now too. You are a creature of filth, of corruption, of devastation. You are a blight on this land. Meanwhile, Eddie, Helena, you burst into the holding room. Everyone is going the other way. The jury is being ushered to a safe place in the other way. The holding room is empty. It's a small chamber, just 2 benches down either side. You remember being here on that first day. And small parts of your memory remember being here on multiple days since then. You push on through, and you're in the corridor on the upper floor. You know that you need to get to the stairs, to go downstairs, go down to the foyer.
Okay. Is Helena still fighting me and biting me?
Helena, you have taken a good mouthful of Eddie, and it tastes good, but he is not your enemy. The blood for now has kind of satiated you and your thirst, but it will be there And you are still the Lady of Justice, and you have things to do, and nothing will stop you on your path to completing these things. And the tentacles are going to help you whether they like it or not.
Okay.
So, Helena, for now, you have control over your body, and you have an awareness that Eddie is currently helping you in your goal. So you no longer feel the need to eat him. But he tasted real good when you did, so I mean, something for later.
That's good.
Don't eat me. All right. I set her down. I square her shoulders. I take off my hat. I take off my face. No nose. I look you right in the eyes. So listen, you and me, right here. You hear me? Right here. And I pull the knife from my boot and I put it in your left hand. You should have everything that you need. Now we are walking down to that lobby, and I need 15 minutes. You're going to watch my back. You got eyes in the back of your head. You got eyes in the ceiling. You got eyes everywhere. You look and you watch my back right now.
And as soon as you feel the pommel of that knife hit your palm, you do have eyes everywhere. Every statue in this building is now filled with your awareness. And it's almost like a set of CCTV monitors you can flick between the ones you want to see. And you walk as if in a waking dream, a sleepwalker. And as such, you can follow Eddie. But Eddie does need to be your eyes when you go down the stairs, because you cannot see the stairs unless from another angle. And it's kind of disorientating to control your body and see it externally.
I hold your hand and I say, stairs. And I walk you down the stairs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. You hit the foyer. 13 stairs down to the foyer.
Grab you, put my hands on your cheeks. I say, don't move. Watch my back. Turn around, open the leather case, spill it open. Now, as an aside, it is important to point out that I gave Lucia the dynamite, and the dynamite, as far as I know, is not in the room, right?
And I'm really glad that Lucia just launched herself at a man that was on fire. A man that you
Got
can
it
now
in a duffel bag.
is in the middle of the foyer. And Lucia is on top of him, attempting to pat him out. And you hear the explosion of his hands being destroyed by shotgun shells.
I think she's probably screaming at him, like, "What are you doing?" Like, just like stepping off him, hearing the explosion, she jumps back. And she looks pretty geared out at this point. I think she's still got a smaller jacket on underneath, so not everything's on show. But she's sort of standing back in shock at Bert.
And Bert is there in the center of the foyer, atop what you could have seen from the top of the stairs as a pattern on the floor. And he is there in the dead center of it, writhing, muttering, speaking of corruption. Helena, you can watch it from any angle you like, from high up where gargoyles watch the scene, from Lady of Justice for a front and center view. Eddie, you arrive into chaos. Lucia stands there like a walking armory over Bert, who is still half on fire. This is the perfect place for a ritual.
Yeah, I'm right. And I'm in the lobby, right?
Yeah, you've just escorted Lady Justice down there.
All right. Look at Lucia. Helena's where she needs to be. Spill out the leather case. Grab the compass. Set it down on something still. Which way is north?
North is through Lady Justice towards the garden.
Excellent. Facing north, I take the chalk. I draw 4 pentagrams, east to west, left to right in front of me, and then a hexagram at the north and south tip. This forms the cross. Okay. That done.
Lucia doesn't know what to do with Bert. Like, she's sort of been shocked by it because he's not. What is Bert doing? Like, is he just struggling? Is he laying?
He's writhing in agony. You cannot process what's going on. His hand has just been destroyed. His arm is still on fire. There is something wrong with his mind. He's still kind of smoking, and it's unpleasant. You've seen nothing like this.
Seeing she can't do anything, she's tried and she can't seem to do anything, she just covers Eddie, basically.
It just lays the coat down as a blanket over him.
Yeah.
Sparks appears. He says, "This isn't gonna work, Eddie. What are you thinking? What are you thinking? This isn't gonna work? You got a war with the courthouse?"
Parks. Shut up. Step back. And I look at Lucia. Cover me. I face east. I put my thumb right here.
Eddie charges forwards and skids his foot over one of your finely drawn hexagons. The signs are all wrong. You're going to do this wrong. Lucia, Helena, you both can have a reaction to this. Eddie, you're in a moment. Hold that thought.
Lucia will immediately sort of pull a gun on Sparks and just point it at him to try and stop him where he stands. And she's trying to do it in an intimidating fashion, basically. She's trying to just hold out.
All right, roll that intimidation. Helena, do you have a reaction? As Sparks attempts to interfere with the ritual that will save justice.
Yes, so am I just looking at him from statues, or can I?
Yep, from
Okay.
statues. You can push yourself back into your own mind.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go back into my own mind and try to intercept him physically.
Okay.
So since I view him as an enemy, I'm gonna go for the throat
Okay. Are you going with your teeth or with the knife?
with my teeth. I have the knife, but I'm going with my teeth.
All right. Lucia, how did you do?
I got a hard success.
Hard success.
She's literally gonna pull it out and she's like, "I will shoot you where you stand."
Okay, and as you do, you see the waking dream snap to consciousness, and purposefully striding around the symbols comes Helena, and she grabs a hold of Sparks. Make that fighting brawl for me, please. And I'm gonna make you use one of your nat 20s for this.
Okay. Do you want me to roll it anyway?
Yes, roll it anyway, because I want to see how messy it is. Okay. Pretty
Fail.
damn messy. Alright, and your teeth clamp into the side and you get gristle and sinew, and so you bite again and again, and Sparks is screaming in agony, and he falls to the ground. Lucia, your gun is pointed at him, and I imagine you track him down. Okay, Eddie. Your ritual was interrupted. Your sign has been scraped away, but the man has been halted by Lady Justice and Lucia.
Keep doing it. I just keep doing it. The words are more than what's written on the floor. I've established this cross with what's written on the floor. I just have to keep moving. You can't go back. Once you start it, you can't go back. Aropantos kakodaimanos, soy, ophal, iskaros, eucharistos, and I shout, yow, loud. And I do my hands like this, then I face north, Nuit, Babylon, Hadit, and then I turn around and show Prau Mau Yungus, Opicho Mau Teletarkai. And I just start saying all kinds of weird shit. Epidexia Chionochus, Eperistera Daimonos, Fegigar Peri Mau O Aster Ton Pente, Kayen Taistelai O Aster Ton Ex Extexe. Before me the Lingus, behind me the Teletarchus, on my right hand the Sinocus, and on my left the Daemons. For about me the star of 5, and in the pillar stands the star of 6. You come out here, beast. You come out here, coward. In this I go from sub to supraliminal. I expose you from the blankets of deception. With this I expel you from our minds. I expel you from this place. You have no home here. We are stronger than you, coward.
Dark shadows seep down from the forms of Lucia and Helena down into the ground, and the entire building shakes violently. The door of the foyer slams shut. Lady Justice's head cranes down to look upon you. The statue, not Helena. On the floor, Bert, your blood is running black, and it is running like a river of fire across the center. It draws lines between the symbols that were created by Eddie, and the floor fractures. I need you all to make dexterity saves.
Can I grab Bert?
You could try.
I'll try. Yeah.
And I would suggest that right now is a good point to start using up any bonuses you have. Only bad things lie this way.
I was gonna say, can I use one of my nat 20s for that?
Yes, you can.
I succeeded.
You succeeded. Yeah, Eddie, how did you do? What are you doing?
I don't know. I'm over here freaking out. That was awesome.
That was awesome.
We,
You have 3 nat 20s left, just so you know.
Well,
we need another wild magic surge too.
You do?
Yeah,
this
we
was
got
a
20.
dex check.
Yes, dexterity check, please.
I passed
Helena, you roll that wild magic surge for me, please.
Thanks, Charlie.
You're welcome.
So 614.
Yes. Eddie,
506.
you plant your feet in the ground, determined and strong, astride the crack between you, across the floor, and you hold with your will. And you see Lady Justice's eyes, the blindfold melting away, and her eyes flaring wide open, dark holes into the void. And behind you, the building continues to shake. Dust and rubble begins to descend from the ceiling. Reroll that, please, Helena. Lucia, you grab Bert and drag him before he can fall into this large schism that is now across the foyer. And you find yourselves staring at the polished floor, unable to look away. In the reflection, you see another you. A you that is happy. A you that is here because she has just gotten married. A you that is celebrating her life. She is strong. And you inherently know everything about this woman. As she reaches out a hand, and it comes through the floor, and it reaches for yours.
She backs up. She is just that. No, and she's probably got like one of her arms round Bert, trying to pull him back, and she's screaming for like Eddie, probably in particular, because he's just done this ritual. She's like, Eddie, what is this? Like, screaming as she's backing away, pulling Bert away from this arm that's reaching out.
The Lady of Justice rises from where she has been mounted from all of time since her creation, a stone statue. And she strides down and she crushes the desk as she crosses it and stands at the head of your ritual in the north. Behind her, you can see through the windows the fire that Bert had created. A massive silhouette of glowing red and smoke. Lucia is panicked behind you. She has Bert in her arms. And Helena, you move to stand to the south by the door. You too are Lady Justice now. You have your sword, your scales, your blindfold. You can see because she cannot. And you are now unable to move from that spot as you become a part of this ritual. Out through the crack, tentacles begin to worm and grow. And you hear the sound of scrabbling from doors that lead into the foyer. Eddie, you don't have long to finish whatever it is that you are doing before the interlopers are here, before the courthouse becomes a door, a portal, before the sky is a poisonous garden.
Well, I immediately look at Helena because everything I had to say I've said, and the beast should be here by now. And I'm looking for something I can shoot and not see unless I see these tentacles coming out of the floor. And really, even if I do, I look very carefully at Helena.
Okay. You can definitely see these tentacles. You actually stand between Lady Justice on one side, Helena on the other, astride this crack through which these tentacles are rising. you cannot see a beast here, although you can hear the approach of what you imagine are probably rat men, based on the fact it sounds like people attempting to burst in.
Dynamite. I look at Lucia. Bag.
She's
Bag.
She's already like taking them apart. Like she's throwing you a couple of the sticks, and she's keeping hold of some of them as well.
Everybody make a dexterity check. But please make a
Fail this.
sanity check.
Yeah, fail.
We all
I'm gonna,
So close, but so far.
I'm gonna use my nat 20. That only gives me advantage, right?
No, that gives you that's a full success.
Okay, I use it.
Okay, from above on the guardrail, one of the gargoyles topples forwards, and it's nearly like slow motion as this great giant carving of stone descends and smashes on the floor next to you, Eddie. You simply sidestep and allow it to fall. Helena, how did you do?
I failed.
Failed.
No.
Lucia, you failed.
Failed.
Okay, but you failed. But you know that all you can do is to throw yourself into the darkness, into the crack, to be sealed over by Eddie's ritual. You have to get to the crack, and you have to put yourself in it and the corruption. Helena, Lucia, you were both struck by heavy pieces of marble in the head.
Oh my god.
Take 6
No.
damage each.
Oh!
Oh my, okay.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. These are heavy pieces of the mantle over the door, the large door to the foyer.
Eddie doesn't have a left hand anymore, right?
Nope.
Hurt doesn't.
But
Yeah, but
hell,
only your
fuck
right
it. I've still got the sawn off, I guess, in my right hand. No, actually, I'm gonna dump the sawn off. I just burst all the shells. I'm gonna grab that pistol, and I'm gonna jump down into the crack, revolver out. I'm taking him out with me. I jump down firing.
Lucia, do you attempt to stop Bert, or are you too busy dealing with the fact that your head was nearly caved in by a large chunk of marble?
I was gonna say, am I able to if I've been hit in the head?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna actually use one of your nat ones and say that whatever you try is pointless.
Okay.
But you break free, you throw yourself into this, and you have that falling sensation. You've been in the void before, you've
Yeah.
descended before, and all around you, you see these gross, bulbous tentacles swarming, and you shoot, and you shoot.
Using the stump to wind back the hammer. Painfully.
Above, Eddie, you're the only one who can see this because you can see down into the schism. You see Bert leap and fall and vanish. Gone into the darkness. What
Down
do you
its throat. I respect what just happened, and I need to get some information. Is Helena unconscious?
Helena, you're unconscious.
Am I? I was knocked out. I have 8 hit points.
Okay. Then how much damage? You've got 2 hit points left?
I have 8 left.
You have 8 left.
Yeah.
Okay, then you are still standing. You are rooted to this spot, and this is almost the difficulty for you in terms of your dexterity saves, is you are almost a part of this building right now. Helena is still conscious.
Okay, so is Lucia, can I get her attention, and is she on the other side of the hole in the floor from me? I don't want to know the answer to that question.
So the hole runs north to south,
Right.
and Lucia is on the south side with Helena.
Is the duffel bag with the dynamite in it near Lucia?
Yes.
Lucia, I look at you and tell you to light it up and throw it down there, and then we are leaving.
And she looks at it. Is her coat still on fire from where Bert was?
I'm gonna say that it remained in the center and it was on fire and it fell into the schism.
Oh,
And it's
okay.
no longer there.
Well, she will just light up that she looks at Eddie, nods, lights up this dynamite, and just throws it. And she'll probably immediately run to Helena. And just like, even if she's in this solid state, she will take her around the waist and just start dragging her out of this.
And this is the strange thing about Helena as you grow closer. Where the marble contacted her head instead of blood, instead of flesh, there is a crack in the stone of Helena.
Oh,
And
no,
you
no, no,
find
no,
she
no.
is an unmovable statue.
And
I saw it coming.
so as this happens, she's holding onto it. She sort of does that, why is it not moving sort of thing, and she looks back at Eddie. It's like, I can't move her.
We gotta take the stuff off of her. Get the band, get the
And
thing off her face.
And she starts just trying to tear off the blindfold that take the scales off her.
And you all hear in your minds the words that Bert had told you about the basement. By the hands of the innocent. And then he stops. You know there should be more. Be my eyes, for I am blind. Helena's voice. Your own voice, Helena. You hear in the back of your mind. In unbalance, the universe is born. Eddie's voice. Lucia, you can only hear yourself talking of vengeance, talking of taking everyone with you if you are gonna fall. Everyone make dexterity saves who remains in the courthouse.
I'm gonna use advantage.
I'm gonna use advantage.
Say, I'll use advantage as well. I probably won't, but...
I got a hard success.
Okay.
Oh my god, I got a success.
Oh, I did it.
Okay.
Yeah. What's up?
More of the room begins to shatter and fall apart, and you see the staircases themselves are revolving, are changing. This space is changing and reshaping around you. The door is being crushed and crumpled like an aluminum can. But you all manage to dodge, by luck or by skill, the falling of these rocks. But you're in your home. You see the peeling wallpaper. You smell the food that's gone off in the icebox. You see around you the littering of empty bottles. A collection that you have to take from the Millers at some point to get refilled.
What, am I
And
just
you hear-
waking up, or am I, like, in the doorway, or?
You're just there. You're just awake. And you hear a phone ring. Incredibly close, yet far away.
Do I still have my gun on me?
Yes. It'll be in your hand.
I'm gonna pull back the hammer and head towards the phone.
Okay. Eddie. You stand next to the schism. Lucia is lighting up the dynamite. The rat men have burst into the foyer. They scurry across from the green and the red doors through which you have passed before. And they come cascading down over the balcony that looks into this space. And they are running at you. This is your last chance to save the world, Eddie.
I have to save Helena. I can't. I'll kill it, but Lucia's holding the dynamite, and I just look at her and I say, throw it. And then, can I lift Helena?
I will say that you can try, and that you have a plus 30 to your strength score, because you are now the strongest man in the world.
Can I use a 20?
Yes, you can.
Then I lift Helena, and I look at Lucia and I say, do it. Is the exit clear?
The front door is currently being compressed.
I gotta throw Helena
That is
out the front
closest
door.
exit. Okay.
If both of us can get out of there, and I'm like waving Lucia over, but at this point I'm just trying to get Helena out of this building.
Okay. Lucia.
Lucia will wait till they've passed her to make sure they don't get caught in any of the explosions.
Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okay. I'm going to use a nat 20.
Okay. A large piece of the ceiling comes crashing down. A piece the size of you. You would have been nothing beneath it. And you dodge it, and you move up towards the largest part of the schism, which is now growing. Before, it was a couple of meters wide at its widest, and now it's moving across the room, threatening to have the entire building swallowed up into it. The tentacles that reach out for your feet, and you stride past them. The fuse is lit. You can hear it hiss.
And if she sort of looks back to make sure that Eddie and Helena get to the door at least closer, and she sort of holds out the dynamite. I'm sorry, Bert. And then just lets go, and will just turn and try run, but at the same time she doesn't think she's going to get out.
Okay. The statue of the Lady of Justice that remains, her scales had always been balanced, and in the ritual they had shifted in one direction, and now they slowly rise back. And Lucia, the last thing you hear is the shattering of stone, the heavy crumbling behind you. Make me one last dexterity roll.
I don't think I've got anything left, have I?
I don't think so.
You have an advantage, I think.
Let's try it then.
Yes, you have one advantage.
Fail. I have very bad dexterity.
You reach the door, and the entire facade of the building falls down upon you. And the world is blackness. What is Lucia's final thought?
She hoped her father was in there as well. And as long as, like, Helena and Eddie got out, she's like, well, they got out. Maybe I'll go find Bert.
Bert, you answer the phone. And it's Victoria. She says, Daddy, I'm outside. I just came home to see you. I feel real bad about what happened, and I just wanted to make it up to you now. I'm a better person now.
What do you mean you're a better person? How are you calling me from outside?
Come and see.
I dropped the receiver.
Okay.
I'm gonna walk. It sort of looks like I'm drunk. I'm walking on the legs of an unsteady man, but it's not because I'm drunk. As I get to the door, I'm gonna take a deep breath. How many bullets are in the chamber?
I will say that you have one shot left.
That's enough. I'm gonna open the door.
Okay.
Gun behind my back.
Outside is the abyss, and on a floating hunk of the floor of the foyer stands Victoria. There is an upright pole on which a phone is hanging, the phone from which she called you. Next to her is a suitcase. You see there are stickers on it. She's been traveling. Daddy, what is this place? What did you do, Daddy? Is it because I was bad? Was I not what you
What do
wanted?
you... Tell me, sweetie. Do you remember the last things that I said to your mother? Before we all left?
Before we left where? I left before Mama did. She stuck around for you.
How about Helena? How do you feel about her right now?
I love her so much. I just don't know how to tell her she went away. And she never came back. And she raises out a hand, and it strangely seems to across the void without being distorted. Incredibly close and incredibly far.
I reach out my hand and take it.
Okay.
I just say, I'm real sorry, sweetie, but we need to kill this thing.
You're not gonna stay with me?
There's one thing I've learned through all of this is that if anyone will be, you'll be strong enough on your own. And I take the gun and blast my own brains out.
Eddie, Helena. Eddie, you force your way out of the door and you find yourself in a city at night. The fog hangs heavy and green. There's the sound of traffic, so much traffic. These honking horns. You look above, and just beyond the fog, the night sky clears. You see stars, and looking back over your shoulder, a courthouse hole, and over the door, be my eyes, for I am blind. I am the protector of justice.
Where's Helena?
And you ask yourself that question, and you turn,
No.
and she's right there beside you,
Oh my God.
looking at the city. And that is where we will end our game.
Come on. Come on.
Brock's full. The party dies.
Rock's full, the party dies.
It was intact?
It wasn't the same courthouse.
Right. Yeah, right. Couldn't save her.
Couldn't save anyone.
I couldn't save anybody, and I couldn't kill it.
And the outcome, just so everyone knows, the nat ones I was building into the story rather than calling each of them as I used them. They were hindrances to the party's final ends.
Oh, man.
We can't. Oh God.
Helena,
Come on.
you blink in the night.
What?
You are in a strange place that you don't know.
Epilogue.
It is busy. So busy. People are passing. They're laughing about something. Carrying bags. Across the street from you, you see a building on top of which a man stands watching the city, a statue. And you look down, and in front of you is Eddie, distraught, panicked. He couldn't save her. He couldn't stop it, couldn't kill it. And you have a choice. You can fulfill your role as Lady Justice and watch over all of those who enter into this building. Or you can return and help Eddie.
No, don't leave me alone. Don't
Oh.
leave me alone. You can't leave
Oh,
me
man. I don't want to be a statue. No. I feel like that's the most selfish route to go if I do this, but I can't leave him. He's like my other half. Like it's a crazy like soulmate match, and I feel like if I stay here, I think that this man. So it's either go back and live my life as a human or stay a statue and protect all these people.
This is your choice. Helena Hawthorne, observer of life, writer of stories.
You can't leave me alone. To hell with all of them. To hell with all of them. It's just us.
Just us or just this?
Everyone's making this so hard.
Lucia, your family has a funeral for you. Your death is remarked upon as tragic and untimely. And your brothers, racked with guilt, secretly start a fund which helps women who travel across the sea to start a new life in America. They're later arrested for fraud and other hideous crimes. And their lives are complicated and tangled. The ones that survived, that is. But always, the Lucia Moretti Fund helps women across the ocean. And one day, nearly a century later, we'll say about 90-ish years later in 2018, outside of the library, they erect a statue in your honor. It's based on a single photograph that they could find of you, a photograph of you and your mother shortly before she died. And you are a child holding her hand. But they never did find your body. You'd been missing for 3 weeks. No one knew what happened to you. Victoria lost other people too. She lost Helena, the mystery writer, whose next great novel was to be about privacy and the jury. Victoria spends the rest of her life following in Helena's footsteps, exploring mysteries, writing. She is actually a consultant for the FBI later in life, helping them profile, and is on many boards looking for justice for women's rights and for same-sex equality in marriage and similar. She is a pioneer in her field, even though she is always following in someone else's footsteps. Helena, are you the Lady Justice, or are you Helena Hawthorne?
I'm Lady Justice.
Eddie, as you turn and you see the statue, it is unmistakably Helena's face that they have carved beneath that blindfold. And for the briefest of moments, she seems to smile on you. And you know that you have to go on and continue to fight your fight. That perhaps only you can save the world, and that you will have another chance to do so. In front of you, on a pole, there is a light, and it turns from red to green. Time for you to cross the road.
That's not how it's supposed to be. And I thought I saved her. And I'll never get it. He'll never really get it. If that's what's supposed to happen to her.
If something good happened.
I don't think he can see it. And I think he'll go on looking for her.
And in his search, he flies back to Paris.
Yeah, he does.
It is on the streets of this city that he is forever plagued by the ghosts. And he looks for a way back, because there is no way forward. And that is where we will end our story.
Oh, Charlie.
That's so sad!
That's so sad. Oh God.
Thank you everyone for joining us in this Epic tragedy.
It's Cthulhu. It's gonna be a tragedy.
It's Charlie.
Charlie, everybody. Let's give it up.
Charlie.
That's awesome.
I've seen people in chat as well talking about doing standing ovations and things like that. This has been a whole thing, everyone.
We ended a little bit late, and I'm very sorry about that. But we had
Come on.
some things that we really needed to resolve since this is our finale.
Oh, I can hear them complaining because we ran over. Gravy.
Let's go round, I guess. Charlie, can we start with you this time? I'd love to hear. We all talked about our characters, how our characters have been through the whole season. I want to know exactly how you felt through the whole thing.
I had a plan when this started. And it was going to be about people on the jury, and we were going to go through this court case, and they were going to find clues, and it was all about the battle for justice, the manipulation of people, about guilt and innocence. And I usually, when I write these things, I write myself a question that I want to try and answer through the campaign, and the question was, what is the line between guilt and innocence? And I don't know if I have an answer for that from this, but I think we still did go on that journey, and the line is a very fine line. It comes down to perspective. It comes down to understanding and empathy. And I think this is what this story has been about, as well as being brutal and dark and vicious. And I want to thank chat for all the wild magic surges, because they shaped the story, and the good ones had good consequences and the bad ones had bad consequences, and I did my best never to stop those consequences and to always make them a part of this world and part of the story. And I am sorry that we had to end in a moment where everyone who had been brought together over the last 14 weeks was torn apart. Physically, literally, metaphysically. But I can only thank this group for being really awesome to play with. I was terrified about this start because it's like, I only have 3 hours and we have so many little threads and so many big plans and so many things that aren't answered, and how do I do this in a satisfying way? I think only the group can tell you if I achieved that, but I did my best to try and follow what they'd told me they wanted, what was important to them. And a lot of the answers over the course of the series was what was important to them was they got to explore. They got to find the dark places in their characters. They got to find the light places. And so that's where we went. And I let them destroy the courthouse. And balance is restored, but a new universe is born. I really hope that we get to play again in the future. We are not back here next season, but maybe we'll be back the season after that. Not sure. But I am looking forward to playing with all of these very talented people again. And thank you so much for having me here, DMing my first big campaign. First time playing Call of Cthulhu, so I apologize to everyone who knows the rules way better than I do. Thank you. I think that's all I have to say.
I think at the end of the day, it's not about the rules, it's about the story. So I think you did a perfect job of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, and with regards to story, my God, I think I speak for all of us when I say I am not only content with that story, I am enriched with that story. So thank you, Charlie.
Yeah.
Why don't we go around and speak to everyone else as well? We'll finish on me. I'll do the final
everyone
round.
okay? Does anyone need like a couple of minutes so we don't come to you and you don't need?
No,
That's a good shout.
Fine.
I'm fine.
He's like,
It's okay not to be okay. Just it's okay not to be okay and to not want to talk right now. We can talk later as well.
No, I mean,
Why don't we go to Alice, and we'll circle around to Travis, and you can say what you'd like to say. Is that okay?
yes.
Okay.
I think-
this. Sorry.
No, I thought you'd frozen. You're not frozen. Carry on.
This game is insane. Like, I know that's not supposed to be a pun because it's all the insanity checks and everything, but it was so good. One, Charlie for weaving in wild magic surges, like, oh my god. And two, there's just the story, this group. I'm gonna miss this group so much. Like, it really saddens me that there isn't a season. It's not coming back in season 2. I'm genuinely like upset about it. This was awesome. Just, I like the little bits from like Eddie and Helena, like just talking in the library, just little things like that. The determination from Eddie to get Helena out at the end, and obviously she's been Lady Justice from the beginning anyway because of the blindfold. So I think she's always been that, and it was like watching the process of her becoming it, both physically and mentally, I guess. And then Bert's ending is tragic, like really, really tragic as well. I think everyone's ending was tragic. The most positive one was probably Helena's, but purely there's so much tragedy in it, but she got a good thing out of it. She effectively has now become probably what she wanted to be. She just didn't realize it was going to be in that form. I feel so sorry for Eddie, who now has to wander the earth basically on his own. I enjoyed Lucia not being able to really understand a lot of things and just pulling a gun on Mr. Sparks, and Eddie freaking out at the beginning because she didn't quite get it. It's just what she does.
So good.
And lining up all of her gear and having that little chat with Bert at the beginning just to finally have that resolution, because they never had that.
And I appreciate you so much for being like, we're not done yet, hold on.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa,
you don't get to cancel this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I really tried to play this character as Lucia, not as a player playing a character. So Alice personally wouldn't have pulled a gun on Mr. Sparks.
Mm-hmm.
Lucia was just like, yes, I would have pulled a gun on Mr. Sparks. So, and I think everyone in this group did that. They played their character. They didn't play themselves necessarily, which is why there was a lot of like, oh my god, what are we doing sort of moments. But I think this cast is really just, it works so well. And all the characters worked really well. We were all completely different. We all had our own issues. And it was just really nice to explore them. So hopefully we can get the group back together again and do something, because this was awesome. So thank you, Charlie. And thank you, all of you, so much.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone. This has been an amazing experience. Why don't we go around next to Travis?
It is. I'm just trying to get my shit together here. Yeah, it is an amazing experience. It's a very special thing. You know, I've made friends for, very deep friends, and it's just killing me because this is a masterstroke. I think that what Charlie has done is she's really accomplished something and told a psychological horror story within. She's elevated the actual game we're playing. I can't put too fine a point on it that I'm glad we're not in Relia fighting Cthulhu and non-Euclidean geometry, and we can play the Lovecraft game if we want to play the Lovecraft game, but we didn't. We weren't pointing a Tommy gun at a Shoggoth. We were fighting back the devil at their minds and doing something that, in my opinion, is far more interesting and far more sophisticated and requires putting some skin in the game and investing in it. And I really feel like we all did that, and it's very special. And thank you so much to Adam and Alice for giving us a place to do it. And I hope we get to revisit them, because one of my favorite things, one of my favorite things about the Twin Peaks comeback. Let's talk about Twin Peaks for a second while I'm hijacking the show, if you don't mind. Put my glasses on. Is that everybody wanted a happy ending. Everybody wanted Dale Cooper to go, hey, drink some coffee and take down the mystery and just take the sucker down. And one of the great things about it is that Lynch and Frost. We're going to talk about Twin Peaks for a second, people. Lynch and Frost knew how badly people wanted that and created more than just a carrot on a stick. It is the pain of not seeing your best wishes for these characters realized. It should be as much a struggle for you as it is for them. And what I think a lot of people don't get about that kind of storytelling is what you think is disappointment and what you think is loss and frustration at the process is actually the white hot moment where you are enjoying this, whether you know it or not, and enjoying it may be painful and enjoying it may be hard. And that's very difficult to do. You notice how hard people, in modern film work to achieve ambiguity, to achieve something that is both real and not real at the same time, both honest and not honest at the same time, to actually get to something that isn't just a surface understanding of something. And I feel like that really happened here. It's deep. He should go his whole life wondering what happened. He should go his whole life experiencing this horrifying loss and looking for her and going back to where he found her, and she should do what she did, and maybe they'll meet each other again. And it's epic. It's epic, and it's something that means a lot to me and is very unique to this, the format that we get to do this live in front of these marvelous people who are watching at home and feeling it with us. That means so much to me, and I know to us. It would be great if we were all sitting around a dining room table, but that's not possible. We live in four corners of the world, and we get to have this shared experience and share it with all of you, and that's a very special thing. And so this ended beautifully, Charlie, and rather perfectly. We said from the beginning, I said to Helena, I said to Anna, after we got off the stream, what the second or third show I said, because I had just met Anna, and I'm trying to tell this, I don't want to hijack what she wants to do, and I've just met this person, and so all I could say to Anna was, Anna is supposed to be sad and sweet, and just to kind of get across what I was going for, which is that it is supposed to be tragic. And my favorite kind of storytelling is not the one where everyone, holds hands and, has this marvelous thing. It's like the end of the Seventh Seal. They're all dancing. The guy looks up and he looks at the hillside, and all the people are holding hands and dancing with one another. And the Reaper is guiding them all through it. It is at once an ending and at once a new beginning. And it's my favorite kind of storytelling, and that's all I have to say.
And
Breaks
you
my
can
heart.
find Travis behind WebDM and over on Twitter.
Oh God, yeah. So if you want, go to WebDM, where you can watch Rudy Rutenberg and Satine Phoenix talk about. It's funny actually. The Pruitt and Satine talk about therapy through D&D at one point in today's show, and there's a really interesting 2 or 3 minutes there in the middle of today's WebDM that everyone should go check out. And because Satine says something interesting in it actually, where she's like, do I do it? Pruitt asks her, do you use D&D for therapy? And and she says, do I do it unintentionally all the time? Do I do it intentionally, not without communicating with the other players and making sure that everybody's sort of, I'm paraphrasing, sort of ready for it. And I think that has absolutely happened here. I feel like I warned everybody, and we're, everybody's well documented sort of my introduction to these safety tools and how I sort of came in. This is what the Scradix Academy, in my opinion, is for, and part of why their intention and the fact that it has an intention is so special, is that you're going to come in the front of this and they're going to go, okay, well, I'm going to ask you if you're all right, and we're doing that for certain reasons. I don't know. And that allows you, and we've said it before, to tell a more sophisticated story that has a piece of your heart in it. And that is exactly what happened here. And the ending couldn't have been more perfect, Charlie. It was a very, very, very special thing. And I love how, like, as much control that Eddie tried to assume over the situation, he never really had it. And I never really had it. And that's exactly as it should be, is someone desperately scraping at the door. And it's not, would you want a story where the guy walked right through it and everything was fine and he sat down and had breakfast? No, it has to be horrifying, and put him through a total test. And that's what I feel happened. I'll shut up now. I appreciate all of you. I really appreciate the people watching, by the way, and all these marvelous people who I've got in touch with, Cleric and I know Frank's in there, and I could go on and on. All these marvelous people who are watching. Potato Hollow, Paladin, just all these faces I keep seeing week to week. Thank you guys for watching this. It's very special.
Yeah. Very special. Thank you, Travis. Next around, we have Anna. Oh, hi.
Hi. So when we had our first break, we talked about how we felt about it ending, and I'm pretty sure I said I am okay with it either way. I would have been fine with my character living and going on. I would have been fine with her dying tragically, but at no point did I ever assume that I would have a choice between the two, and that was what made it really hard. Like, I love you, Charlie, but that was really hard. Actually, no, I love you, Charlie, and that was really hard. It's not, yeah. I love you as a person and a storyteller, and thank you for giving me this opportunity to make this choice for my character. It was very hard. If I hadn't been watching chat, I don't know if I would have made the same decision, but that kind of works for me. I'm okay with that. The hardest thing, honestly, wasn't losing this character that I've built from my heart and made as an extension of me as a person. It was this relationship with Eddie and worrying that I'm not going to be able to continue it, to see where they can go and to what they can do. Like, yeah, that was the hardest part about making that decision, was deciding if I wanted to do what I view as the right thing and end my character, basically, or to go on this journey that I think me and Travis have been like dreaming of this whole time with our characters. But I think that it's okay. I think I'm okay with it. I mean, I definitely had a little bit of a breakdown, but that's just because I love storytelling and I love emotion, and then I can't help getting very involved with emotional things that make me feel a lot. And this story from the beginning has made me feel a lot, which, as an emotional person, you would think that that's easy, but it's actually kind of hard, because when you're super emotional and an empath true and true, you kind of turn that off sometimes, and because it affects you too much. So turning that off makes it easier to accept things that can come in and hurt you in any emotions. But when we tell these stories, it's like I have no ability, no control over that. It's going to sway me. It's going to make me feel things, and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I haven't been fully aware of what I wanted to happen for this. I tried not to think about it. We've had multiple discussions about what we wanted to happen and what could happen and where they could go next, but I didn't want to think about it fully, because I don't want to get either my hopes up, or I assume what's going to happen and then it just be different, because it never will be. That's how it goes with multi-person storytelling. It's got so many different possibilities, and I think that the way it ended was really good. Really good for our story. Yeah, I'm happy with it. I have this really strong desire to write our story, if that's okay with everyone here. Not like write a book and publish it, but I want to watch the shows again, and I want to write it down as a narrative and share it with you guys, and just see how that is as a story, like as just a story you can read and see how that looks, because I don't want it to be over. So I think that will help me. It's just like writing out the narrative. Yeah, I've loved playing with all of you. I know we'll all play together at other things and other times, and yeah, I'm good. Got my emotions out, got my crying done. I'm okay now.
Just want to give you the biggest hug. Yeah. This has been a ride. This has been a hell of a ride. We've come to an amazing finale at the end of an amazing season. I can't think of a single thing I would change. I think the decisions we made were very good. There were some big ones right at the end there, Anna. That was a huge decision, and you made it. When we decided to keep Bert in, when we had the option of taking Bert out or bringing him in, we kept him in. I think that redemption thing, that meant a lot to me. That was good to play out. And even though it was a tragedy in the end, you know, his life meant something. You know, he did something. He changed.
Right.
It's a story to tell.
Mhm.
Oh boy. Eddie wandering the earth looking for Helena is just the saddest damn thing ever.
Oh,
like,
come on.
Oh!
Do you know how happy
Yeah.
it makes me because of how much I love Wuthering Heights? Like, it's a book about terrible people doing terrible things to each other, but it ends with, you know, Heathcliff forever walking the moors looking for Kathy, begging her to come back to him because he doesn't want to be alone in this abyss and he doesn't want to live in a place where he can't find her. The thing is that Eddie needs to realize is that he can find Helena, but whether he will realize that or not, who knows? And the interesting thing as well is he found the hat box which had the phone in, the hat box which hid the phone, which put the phone somewhere else. And he created a spell, which opened a door to somewhere else. And I didn't know if he realized that or not. But gotta love a good hat box trick, right?
Oh boy.
I mean, now you got me going.
I love you, Charlie.
I know.
Scrap, did you have anything else that you wanted to say?
No, I'm ready to do final wrap-ups. Is there anything else you'd like to do, Charlie?
No, I don't think so. I do, just thank chat for supporting the channel. It means that we can do shows like this. I want to shout out Travis, who makes the wonderful introduction videos that you've seen most weeks here.
Oh yeah, amazing.
Twice some weeks.
Twice some weeks. Throughout. And yeah, I just thank you for this experience. It's been wonderful. I'd like to take credit for the storytelling, but really it came down to Wild Magic Surges and to the cast. Just running.
I'm not letting you get away with that. Okay.
Can I just point out?
We
that
all
you've
have-
already said you're part of the cast. If you're the DM, everyone is a player in this game. You just take on more characters than.
Yeah, but this is the thing as well, though. Like, we all get Wild Magic Surges, okay? No one blends Wild Magic Surges into a story like you do, Charlie. I'm not letting you play that off as like, oh, thanks, guys. You know, it was the Wild Magic Surges. No way. That was you. That was amazing. You're taking the credit for it. It was incredible. That being said, we are about half an hour late. We've got the finale of Eberron coming up an hour and a half, so I should start wrapping. Here is our social links. Go and check them out. Here is our Patreon. If you want to support us, direct donations on Patreon are the best way to support us. If you want to support us and Twitch, go for subscriptions and bits. That's fine. But just be aware more money goes to Twitch. Than Patreon, sorry. No, don't misphrase that. When I say more money goes to Twitch, I mean more money than Patreon or donations goes to Twitch. Not that Twitch get more money than me. That's not what I'm implying. What else do we have? We have merch. I believe if you head over to the merch today and use the code ROBOT25, you can pick up things for 25% off. I'm not sure exactly what, but probably stuff for Christmas. So hopefully the Christmas jumper design. Got worth a go. What else have we got? We've got sponsors in Bird in the Storm Publishing. And Mage Hand Press. The finale of the Mage Hand Press series will be on Thursday. We're playing Dark Matter, the space expansion for D&D 5e. Go and check it out. It's amazing. We've done the tweets. We've done everything else like that. I'm very excited about who we're going to raid today. This is one of the streams that I've been raving about, but they don't stream very often. They are a very young group. Who are playing D&D together. They sort of look like the next generation. I want to try and get some of them on the show. They look amazing. They sound amazing. The last time I tuned in, they were DMing wonderfully. Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking you all over there. They're called D20 Error. And yeah, it looks like a lot of fun. I want to crawl up in a corner and ball somewhere. Can I might... The Nightbot chat seems broken. Does it? It's working on my end. Shows links, but it's words. Nope, not on my end. It looks fine. We'll see what happens. Let's go for the Paladin Hulk. Nice raid call. Where's that? You mean Potato Hollow? I want to crawl up in a ball somewhere. Let's take it across.
That was me.
That was you.
That was you.
It's true. It's true. Currently, yes. I'm gonna eat spaghetti and go to bed.
This week is finale week. Tune in all week for the finales of all of our shows as we take a break next week. And then we head over and then we do the 12 Days of Christmas, where we stream 40 games in 12 days, and I go and participate in another one as well, because, hey, that's just the kind of crazy guy I am. I look forward to seeing you all over there. Light up their chat, please. They're a newer stream. They don't stream very often, but when they do, I want to go and support them, because I like what they're throwing down. So I look forward to seeing you all over there. Keep evoking emotions. Thank you for this season, all of you. Thank you for the wonderful support today. See you later.